What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Barb. You are listening to the number one outdoor podcast in the world. I'm your host, Ryan Pinkalla, and we got a great show tonight. It is Monday. We're on time. Things are happening, and we got a great one tonight. We actually have a couple guests. This is going to be a super fun episode. And joining me tonight, the one and only Mr. Sam Sobi. What up,
Ladies
brother?
and gentlemen, boys and girls, just like Ryan said, welcome to another PTV. And once again, we cannot thank you enough for making this the number one outdoors podcast in the world. It's because of you guys liking, sharing, and telling your friends about the shenanigans we do on here. That has made us number one, kept us at number one, and helps us bring on spicy guests. And tonight we have two spicy guests. It's a twofer. We lost Bart, but we're gaining two folks who are much more intriguing. Tenfold.
This should be a great one. But yeah, if you're listening to this right now, make sure you throw us a like and subscribe to wherever you're listening to this, no matter what podcast platform it is. Listen to it on YouTube, whatever you want to do. We're everywhere. So
yeah,
check it out. But yes, this is going to be a great one. We have, I think, a lot going on recently. But dude, what have you been up to? I know people are fishing. There's water all over the place. What have you been up to?
Spring has like officially sprung, and I know it seemed like we kind of got some warm weather there for a second, Minnesota, and it was like 70 degrees, and then we got slapped in the face, and it was like 30 degrees, lows in the 20s for like a week or so, but now it's kind of just creeping back to potentially like, averaging 50 degrees, and I think even upcoming this week it's supposed to be highs in the 60s, which is sweet. Good buddy Hayes and I, we've been banging around some crops out of the dirty rowboat. So we were pumped after getting back from the Classic and all that. We're like, we got to set the hook. And in Minnesota, panfish are basically the only thing open. So I've been playing around a little bit in waders, but we took his dirty rowboat out the other day, and we banged on some crappies in Lake Minnetonka, and it just felt good. Felt good to watch the float go down. And
did you just post a video of that?
Yes,
right
yeah.
Like right now.
Like right now. When you're listening to it, it's live. So if you want to go see, it is good fishing, and we do a little catch and cook too of a pretty dank crappie sandwich. But the shenanigans with two full-grown men in a tippy 10-foot rowboat is worth the watch in itself. It really is. It's a freaking gong show, but it's good.
But you guys murked.
Oh yeah, dude. It was like, I don't know if it's early bird gets a worm, first one to this specific area. It's just, I don't know if the weather was aligned, but I put down the Mega Live 2, and it was like, they're everywhere stacked. And we're using slip bobbers. You're fishing like 10 feet down, over 16 feet, and you're just. And this was probably the coolest part of all of it. It was sweet. Obviously, Hayes and I are in the dirty little rowboat, and we get back into this area kind of first, and then boom, this bass tracker comes in with a group of guys. And then like this $120,000 Vexus rolls in there, pulls down next to us. And this is no shade at those folks to the left or right of us, but these three guys to our left caught one crappie, and the guy in the really expensive Vexus to our right caught two. And we probably plowed 60 of them. I don't know if their slip bobbers weren't set low enough, but like this guy in the boat was definitely like, and we're just, Hayes went on a tear for probably 15 minutes, where I bet he set the hook in close to 30 of them, 15 minutes. So like two a minute is really fast.
Steady.
Yeah. How about you? You've been fashing?
Yes. And dude, I've been trying some things, and it hasn't been working.
What did you try right away that didn't work?
I went out a couple days, some sneaky river stuff in the Yak.
Okay.
Just like, I don't have my boat back yet or whatever. It's still in storage. So I've still wanted to get out, and like, I don't know. I like going to some of the Mississippi River stuff just because it's open for like all species still.
Yeah.
And I was like, I've had some unreal springs down there before, and I found some new spots too, and I wanted to kind of experiment with those a little bit, and they were all completely major busts. And which is whatever, like, you still got to try, right? But like, yeah, I went out I think three times and only caught a couple fish, like all together. Like, it sucked.
How was the water level in the backwaters, like even in the new areas where you're at?
It was super low, and then we've gotten a bunch of like rain/snow in the past several weeks that have made it come up like a couple of feet for sure. But now it's like incredibly dirty with all that water that got in there. But I mean, like the pike and bass fishing has not been great down there, at least in the sections that I'm fishing. But I mean, I caught a few largies the other day when I was out there, which was fun to at least set the hook on some, because that season, like I said, it stays open. It's like in the border water area or whatever. So caught a couple largies, cranking a square bill over some wood, which was cool.
That's sick.
Yeah, and I took Nicole out there and we were messing with that. And we, like I said, we got our asses kicked on Saturday when we went. And I was like 50-50 on like, oh, maybe we should go to a lake and try crappie banging or whatever. And I thought it was hilarious because then I was talking to you and you were like, dude, we slammed it. What was that, like on Thursday or something?
Yeah.
And I was like, I was debating going there. It was such a long drive from where we were. I'm like, oh, maybe we should do that tomorrow because we were going to fish both days. And we're like, we're not coming back to the river. So we're like, okay, screw it. So we go there the next day. And dude, we went to that spot and it was dog shit. It was so bad. Yes.
Really?
Yes. Like, and so we had the yaks, right? So we paddled up there. We go into the spot and like, and I actually had brought my Mega Live out there in the kayak to at least be able to like look around, right? Yeah, so I have it set up like on the back of, because Nicole's got like a sick kayak, right? Like a Hobie, whatever. So it's like it's on the back. So I'm just like paddle up next to it, and I'm just like running the live like from my boat, but it's like in hers.
Yeah.
And I'm like looking around, and there was a lot of fish there, but they were so small, dude. It looked like dink bluegills. That was it. I mean, I think they were crappies, but they marked like so small. And in the time that we were in there, so we gave it probably a solid hour in that area, right?
Yeah.
And I probably watched over a dozen boats come in and out of there in that 1 hour. And there was one dude right like where they were sitting, like you could obviously see them, and it's not big, right?
Yeah.
That was just sitting right on top of them, and he was like he had scope going and everything, and you could see he was just like plunking his bobber right on top of him. I didn't see a single crappie get caught in that entire place, not one out of all those boats. Yeah. So then I was like, oh, let's go out on like the main lake or whatever, look around right in front of it. I'm thinking like maybe they slid out of there. We didn't see anything there. And so I was like, let's bail. I was like, I have another spot that has been consistent before, so let's just try that. So we literally paddled all the way back to the ramp, loaded up, drove all the way around to the other side of the lake, basically, dumped in, found them in about 5 seconds. But there was like, I think 2 other boats there, and it was like, it was empty of people. But the crazy part was in the second half, I don't know if you were out yesterday, but the wind ramped up at the second half of the day pretty like aggressively. Yeah. Out of like the worst direction for the spot that we went to. But we were so like, we're not quitting, like we're gonna catch their ass still. And we went out there. And so now we're bobbing around in like 2-footers in the yaks. And I'm like, I got the live on the back and I'm like looking and I'm like, they're just everywhere. Like we're not gonna be able to like look at them and like the cast. Yeah. So we just put it away. I was like, there's just everywhere. We just need to stay in this depth and just go. So we'd paddle like upwind and just like huck a bobber as far into the wind as you can. And then just like paddle like a motherfucker to stay like close enough to the bobber that the line would stay down.
Yeah.
And we murked, dude.
And you murked, so just, and then you almost did a slow drift back.
No, it was not slow. There was nothing slow about it. Like I was paddling like aggressively to stay caught up with my bobber. That was also drifting. And then like, dude, like the bobber would go down and then you got to reel up like 15 feet of slack to catch up to your bobber and then like load it up and grind them in. But
you caught.
Oh, we caught, dude. Yeah. And we were keeping, like, I got them. They're banging around in the bottom of the kayak, just like going.
Like, you got to get a string, dude. You got to get a dirty string.
I had a string, but it was dragging me. The current from the wind was dragging me even faster with the stringer in the water. Oh. So I had to just throw them in the boat. But there's 2 other boats there who are just sitting on spot lock, probably laughing their ass off at us, trying to watch what we're doing, right?
Yeah.
But we low-key were catching and they were not, dude.
Oh, that's sick.
So we were like struggle busting it right next to him in the yaks, but we were curb stomping them. It was pretty fun. We didn't get any big ones, but we caught quite a few. but it was fun.
I saw you post on Instagram, and
Mhm.
I saw the cleanup kill, but then
Oh,
I
yeah.
saw like crappie burgers, and I've been
Oh,
wanting
dude.
to make fish burgers for a while, and Stephanie's been like, I don't know, and other people been like, I don't know. I'm like, dude, they're like, it's like a crab cake, like it's
Yeah.
probably really good.
They're so
How'd you
good.
make them?
Oh, dude, I see. This is one I've posted this one several times, and I get a lot of questions every time. And I didn't put in that my book either, and I'm regretting it like big time because of how many people have asked for the recipe, and I'm like, I'll put it in the next one. But dude, it's so easy. It's so easy.
I want to know, do you cook the fish first, like bake them in the oven,
No.
no, you're just pureeing them basically out the gate, or
All right,
chopping them
Cliff
up.
Notes version.
Yeah, that's what I want. Just Cliff Notes.
You put all the fillets in a food processor, pulse it
Yeah.
till it's like ground meat, basically.
Yeah.
Mix it with breadcrumbs, mayo, whatever kind of seasoning you like, some cilantro, a little bit of like minced up onion, garlic, whatever.
An egg? No egg?
No egg. You don't need that. And then put the mayo and the breadcrumbs is what like binds it all together, right?
Yeah.
Some panko, a little bit of mayo, whatever. Make them into patties, fry them up in just like a couple tablespoons of oil in a pan. Done. Easy. You just got to figure out what seasonings you're into for it, but it's super good. And they're really easy to make. But
what seasoning do you like with it? Like not specifics, but like, do you like to make them more garlicky or more like just like straight?
Yeah,
it's like a usual all-purpose pepper, garlic, salt.
Yeah, I mean, I always add some spice to it, so like some chili powder usually, like chili powder, garlic, and like I like doing garlic powder versus like fresh garlic because when you cook them, the fish cooks really fast, but it doesn't like the garlic is basically just like raw garlic, like it doesn't cook. You're not only cooking it for a couple minutes because the fish cooks so fast. So using like garlic powder, yeah, but you can't go wrong, dude. Garlic powder, a little. I've made them all different ways. I've even made them more of like an Asian one, put a little like 5 spice in there or a little bit of like soy or whatever, and then made like an Asian dipping sauce for them. You can go anywhere, dude.
Why are fish burgers in general not more of a mainstay? Like, why is that not just a common recipe that a lot of people use? Like, obviously, I know just a fish fillet is good.
I make them all the time, so I would say that they're pretty common over here.
Okay.
But it's easy, right? Because you don't have to. You're not like deep frying anything. Like I literally we got off the lake yesterday. We came back to my house, filleted the fish on the tailgate. Literally walked inside, threw them in the food processor. Like from the time we started filleting fish to the time we were eating fish burgers, was probably like 25 minutes.
Yeah, see, that's why I like it too. It just seems like quick and dirty. Like,
yeah, but they're good, dude. Yeah. But I posted that. I was like, yeah, people are going to be about this. But yeah, dude, I want to go. And I was the whole time, I was like, it was fun doing it in the yaks, but the whole time I was like, wow, I have a really nice boat that could just be like right here.
No, dude, I like the shore fish or going to rowboat or yaks or canoe in the beginning of the year, especially because you're on the water for the first time and you just appreciate being on the water after being on the ice so long. And then once you go on a yak or a canoe or a rowboat a couple times, then when you go in a boat, you're like appreciate, like it's all just like appreciation level just like goes up.
That, but when like, when you're like catching out of the yak or like a rowboat or something, you're like, yeah,
it is kind of sweet. It's rewarding.
And here, you'll like this, dude. This was so funny. So we're out there. Like I said, there was 2 other boats fishing the same spot we were on.
Yeah.
And well, I mean, spot. It was an area, right? It was pretty big, like flat. But okay, so we paddle back to the boat ramp when we're gonna leave, right? These other boats pull off about the same time, and they're like going to get their trailers and stuff, and we're just dragging all our crap up on shore, we're sorting it all out right there. And this guy comes walking by, and he's like, he comes over and he's like, so did you guys like know this spot or what? And I was like, oh yeah, like I've fished here before, blah, blah, whatever. And he's like, yeah, we were watching you guys. You guys look like you were catching. And he's like, we figured you guys must have just been out there scoping. Like we're out there bobbing around in these yaks in like the shittiest conditions. And this guy's still like, oh yeah, you were catching because you were scoping. I was like, come on, dude.
You're bobbing in the water.
I was like, I'm pouring water out of my boots right now, dude. Like,
Yeah, we
Oh my
figured
God.
he was just scoping.
Yeah, yeah. So, but anyway, it was fun. Like I said, we worked for him, but we got him. But we did, yeah, we caught quite a few. We didn't, like I said, well, you know how it is on Tonka. It's like you don't get a ton of big ones, but like I think our biggest one was maybe like probably not quite 12, like 11 and a half ish.
But the crazy thing about Minnetonka is it does have big fish in it. It has big whites, big blacks. It has hybrids, but it's crazy to me, like the average size, like how many eater class fish are out there from 10 to 11 inches. It's like it is a giving tree. It is a resource, and in every single bay on that lake, there's populations of crappies everywhere, which is so cool.
There's so damn many crappies in that lake. It's insane.
Yeah, it's
and like I said, we just wanted to get some to eat. Like we weren't there to like prove nothing. I was like, let's just try to. And like I said, our morning sucked, and I'm glad we like relocated because we ended up doing work where we went. But it was like, damn, dude. Yeah, but there was. I mean, honestly, in the little bit of time that I did look around on Mega Live, though, I mean, there were thousands of them, in that spot. Like it was stupid.
Dude, it just has the population out there is incredible.
Yeah. Did you guys catch anything other than crop dogs?
No, we didn't catch a gill. We didn't catch a random billy or anything. Did you?
We got one like 8-inch billy.
Nice.
That was it. That was
the
it.
Future.
Yeah. Yeah. The future. Yeah. So anyway, but I cracked the first open water largie of the year on the river.
Check.
Yeah. 3-pounder. Followed it up with a solid 1.25 pounds.
What did Nicole catch? Did she get a bass or pike?
She got a pike. She caught like a hammer handle pike right out of the gate. And we were like, oh, like they could be going down. And it proceeded to not go down. Like at all, dude. Yeah. So whatever. We did a little exploring or whatever. And actually, we brought some food and we just pulled up at the boat ramp. We were just chilling, lawn chairs out at the boat ramp kind of thing. Yeah. And we just watched it happen at the river, dude. Wow, was there some excellent people watching going down. Incredible, next level. Like, dude, I think we spent more time doing that than we did fishing, actually, but it was fun, dude. There was
any boat launch is great people watching, but any boat launch on a river is like there's characters there.
And it was busy, dude. It was busy.
Really?
Yes. Like, dude.
I could crack cold beers on a river and watch people.
I know. I'm like debating just going back for that. Like, honestly, I don't know, but it was a good time, dude. Like for real. So no, it was good. And like, I'm stoked to get my boat though. Like I want it soon for sure.
Speaking of boats and bass and moving water, the reason that Dirty Bart isn't here today, folks, is he up and balled out to Kentucky Lake. I think for the Toyota event that was happening, I think he's done pretty well down there in the past. But word on the street is the tournament is tomorrow, but he's driving back up north right now. I don't know what that means exactly. I don't know what went down, but there's definitely a story. So that's we've got something to look forward to there. So Bart went to Kentucky. He said high five to Kentucky Lake, and he came right home without competing in the tournament. So I don't know. I hope everything's okay, and I hope he's good. But there's definitely probably a story.
We'll have to get the update. I don't know.
Yeah.
This is this is the first I'm hearing of it, so this is good. This is great.
Yeah. He like calls me today on the phone, and I'm like, "What are you doing? Like, are you rigging for tomorrow?" He's like, "I'm driving home." I'm like, "That's all I want to know."
Okay then. Yeah, we'll have him tell it on here because I have no idea what's going down. But that's interesting information at this point. All right, but he's not here. We do have to give him the nod though, because he did ask that we talk about this, and I said okay.
Okay. He has a request. He can skip the show, but he has requests.
Well, it's his segment technically. So
okay.
I feel like we got to give him a shot here. So Bart Sports has been an ongoing segment here. Bart is not here, so this is just general sports, I guess. I don't know. But a couple things. One, I just want this to be known. Out of everyone involved in this podcast, I kicked everyone's ass in the March Madness bracket. Okay.
Yep.
And I just auto-filled it. one click, very easy. I don't know why anyone spent so much time on it, but I was nuking the whole group for a while there. But I think I ended up in 6th place overall. I think we had some people that actually knew what they were talking about, get involved. I don't know. But I kicked the shit out of Bart.
The coolest thing was, too, is you wrote your username as I autofilled this.
I did. I wanted to rattle people bad, dude. I think it worked. But, so yeah, I don't know. If we do that again, maybe jump in on it. But yes, Bart did really bad. I did very good with 0 effort. Just want that to be known. But okay, so there was a pretty cool sporting event, or I should say, moment in sports. Alexander Ovechkin beating Wayne Gretzky's all-time goal record in the NHL.
Huge.
Pretty wicked. So I think it was like 30 or 31 years that record stood, which is insane, right? And it was like 30 years before that to when he broke it. So it's like there's major gaps between when it's been broken before. But that's sick. I wish I would have been at that game. I'm sure it was electric, dude to watch that go down.
I bet it was crazy live. And that's such a crazy record that I don't think will be eclipsed. Yeah, probably for another 30 years, maybe never. I'm sure that's what they thought right away, though, too.
There was a cool interview that they showed, though, from like, I don't know, this must have been a long time ago. I don't think I saw the date on it or whatever, but it was them interviewing him because he was like a prolific goal scorer throughout his whole career so far. And they had asked him if he thought he could break that record. And he said he didn't think it was possible in today's like game with like the way the league is and just all this stuff. And that was like 10 years ago or something. And obviously he like beat it, which is pretty cool though. But yeah, so sick to see like these like that's a huge milestone, right? In like NHL history, basically. But like, it's going to be interesting to see if that ever happens again, or if there's guys that can, I don't know, unload that fast. Because the mind-blowing thing to me is that he broke the record in the same amount. He's basically broke the record in the exact same amount of games.
Wow.
As Wayne Gretzky. You know what I'm saying? Like he tied him at like one game before and then broke the record the next game. So they had the exact same amount of games played and only 1 goal difference, which is like statistically, what are the odds of that? First of all,
0.
You know what I mean? But
like 0.
I don't know. But there's a lot of stuff online. I'm sure there's a lot of people that really don't like him and people that apparently don't like Wayne Gretzky. I'm not sure how that's possible, but it's still wicked how many records that dude has, though.
Yes.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, the goal one, meh. Like I also have all these other ones because I think
is he not loved by fans that much? Like, was there kickback on this?
I think
like, people like that weren't pumped.
Yeah, I think some people, on both sides, for him and for Gretzky and Ovechkin. I think there's people that are just hater camp on both, but whatever.
Interesting.
Yeah, but that was pretty cool. I didn't watch the game live or anything, but I did watch all the clips. There were so many cool clips of them like calling that goal, which was pretty cool. Yeah, if you haven't seen it, go check it out. It's a pretty electric moment. I can't even imagine what it would have been like to actually be there, but
even being the announcer, dude, like being the announcer that night, being like, dude, if he scores tonight, like I'm going to announce.
Okay, so if you're that announcer, though, like how long are you mulling this over? Like, what am I going to yell?
Way too long. There it is. He did it.
And then, like, what do you settle on? You know what I mean?
He's done it. I don't know what I'd say.
Because you're like, I can't blow this. This is going to be like history. Like, they're going to play this 1,000,000 times. I don't know.
Yeah, but I'd probably mull that over for a while.
You'd have to. But yeah, no, I think that's super sick. I think let's see. I think there's still one game left in the it's at the Final Four right now, I think, while we're recording this.
Yeah.
For March Madness. But yeah, I don't know. I haven't been really watching much of any sports at all. I've just been pretty much trying to get my fish and shit ready to go.
Yeah, same here. I just feel like I've been turning everything over, and I haven't been watching much March Madness or anything like that either. And that's Bart's job. You know what I mean? Bart is Bart Sports, and we expect him to come in and dedicate portions of his life to watching sports to give the report.
But there we go. We tried.
Bart Sports read to you by Ryan Pinkalla. The commentations by Sam Sobi. At least a 3 out of 10. I give it a 3 out of 10 for us.
Yeah. All right. We're just gonna buzz through this really quick. Then I think we'll bring our guests in.
Yeah.
We're just gonna buzz through this. The next Bassmaster tournament is coming up. Is it this end of this week already? It's soon.
Yeah.
A couple days.
I think.
Is it Thursday?
Yeah, in 2 days.
Okay, 2 days. So current scoreboard check. I'll read it off right now. So far for the season, we're sitting. This is actually pretty crazy because we've been kind of like trading blows here as far as this goes. But current situation, I am in first place with 5 points. Sobi in second place with 6, and Bart in third with 7. So it's 1 point split.
Ooh.
It's very tight. Everyone's been trading blows here.
Which is good. Like this is what I want. I don't want it to be a blowout. I want us to be trading blows.
But I will say, Sobi, you did win the classic.
Sweet.
So I don't know. That's not worth anything, but there you go.
Swoosh.
Yeah. Okay. So next event is at the Pasquotank River is this South Carolina? Oh, North Carolina? Which one is it? One of the North Carolina.
It's going to be an exciting event just because I feel like there's a ton of anglers that haven't been there, and there's just a ton of folks that don't know anything about this place, myself included. Like it's going to be a fun event to watch. It's just different weird water.
Yeah, I think they said the last time Bass hosted an event there was like in the 80s sometime, or that they hosted an elite event. Let me see. Yeah, since the 1980s, Bass held an event at the Pasquotank River. So pretty much almost no one in the field probably has fished a professional event on this venue, which is sick, I think.
Really cool.
And obviously they've been pretty tight on that no information rule.
Yes, yeah. Breaking news. There's been allegations and there's been some retirements in professional bass fishing, which is crazy. We won't go down that rabbit hole or anything. Maybe we'll talk about it more once more of this comes to light and we get more information. But I guess Scott Martin retired, which is wild mid-season. I know there's
kind of in the midst of like allegations about
getting information
and whatever. Wow. So there's more to come on that. We don't know enough about it yet to really dive into this, but there's some things brewing. I don't know. What's your initial take on it? What's your initial take?
I think it's just very abrupt, and I think it was a plot twist nobody saw coming. I guarantee nobody's 2K25 bingo card had Scott Martin retiring mid-season.
True. Yeah. So I don't know. I think, but based on some of this stuff I've heard of just kind of around on social media or whatever, it didn't sound like anyone was surprised at all. Also interesting, but hey, yeah. We'll see how this plays out. But anyway, the next one is going to be interesting. I'm picking people for this one that I think are just hammers at finding fish. Not even like that I think, oh, it's a tidal fishery or blah, blah, any of this stuff. I'm like, I just want people that can just grease and figure them out.
Yeah.
I'll just burn through my picks here real quick. I think you can go a lot of different directions on this, just based like if you think you got guys you think can just like locate areas and scope them up, or just guys that are just going to grind, because it sounds like it's a overall fairly shallow fishery. And based on like how other people picked, it's going to be interesting. I think just like seeing like how many the percent ownership ones. But my A bucket, I went John Cox, because like how do you not?
How do you not?
If it could potentially even be shallow, anything. I picked Trey McKinney. I picked Brandon Card. I might regret that, but Ben Milliken, and then I picked Greg Hackney at E.
Oh, Hackney's a dynamite pick there.
Like, you want somebody to just come in and find him. I think he can do it.
Yeah, and he's just gonna flip everything. Like he's gonna get in a productive area, and he's just gonna flip every piece of cover. Like he's just
Yeah. And everything I've read, I mean, I don't know shit about this place, but seriously, it sounds like it could potentially be pretty big bags. Like,
that's
heavy
sick.
hitters. Yeah.
I'm I'm not going to disclose my full lineup just because I don't want sneaky little Bart running in here.
Well, I have his lineup.
You do? Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I'll read his first, so in case you want to poach any picks.
Okay. I'm game with poaching some of his picks.
Yeah, so he had John Cox, Brian Schmidt, Jacob Porosnik, Caleb Summerall, and JT Tompkins.
Interesting. He's got a little mix of the young and the old, the shallow and the scopers.
Yeah.
Interesting.
He's Hail Maryin'.
Yep.
He's like, I gotta win one.
I think opposed to Hail Marrying, I'm gonna kind of do what you did. I have to pick John Cox, and then the rest I don't want to disclose just because I might pick some TVA guys, some Tennessee boys, some boys who are dealing with some dirty current, and then some other river ratty boys. Just fish casting mother suckers.
All right. You're gonna be like that way.
Like
everyone getting the DMs. You can tear Sobi down for not having his lineup set. That's
I just won the classic. Okay, I won the classic in fantasy fishing, and I don't.
They do say winning the classic is a life-changing event, so I can understand why it's just been a whirlwind probably since then.
Yeah, I get more secretive with my picks now. Now that I climb the top of that mountain.
Holy shit! Okay, all right. So let's get in. We'll get into the rest of this, but let's bring our guests in. I think for the rest of it.
We've been talking nothing but open water yakking, spring bassing, Bassmaster tournaments, weird stuff in the bass world. Enough of it. Enough. Ladies and gentlemen, we have two guests tonight, and they're two phenoms taking over the professional walleye game, and they're also elite multi-species anglers too. They're wild boys. They're young. They're ready. They like to party. They like to fish, and they bang walleyes right in the dome. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Walleye Will Pappenfus, Hunter Nitti. They're young guns. They're young killers, young bloods. They're take your lunch money stealers and jig and crawl.
Oh, geez.
Boys.
I like it.
What's up, boys?
Yeah. Hunter, where are you coming to us from, brother?
Yeah.
From Rosemont. I'm sitting in our golf room right now.
I like you in the cities.
I see you taking a couple swings there.
I knew you could see me in the background.
Silky smooth.
Yeah. How's your swing these days? Is it good?
No, it's so bad. And I'm sweating. I'm out of shape.
He's sweating. Dude took a couple practice swings.
Yeah. I was just waiting for you boys.
How about you, Walleye Will? Where are you coming to us from?
I'm just sitting in my double wide here, just chillaxing on a Monday night.
I like it up north.
Oh yeah, way up here, looking at snow outside my window yet.
How much ice do you have up north still?
Oh, I would say there's close to 30 inches still on some of the lakes.
Really? What about some of the bigger lakes like Lake Bemidji or stuff like that? Okay, we won't dwell on that.
Okay, next question.
It's been a long winter, but the shorelines are getting beat up. So,
dude,
we have that going. So,
damn. So I know both you guys have now fished on the river quite a bit already this year. You had your freeze your butt off tournament. Talk to us about the freeze your butt off tournament before we dump into more walleye tournament action, NWT stuff. That's a legendary tournament that you guys have been doing for a while.
Yeah, it was definitely a freeze your butt off tournament this year. Like, it seems like the last few years we've lucked out and it's been like 50s. And I think it was like, was it like 7 degrees at takeoff or something?
Yeah.
It was cold. It was cold.
That's good. I like that.
Where does that launch out of? Where does that tournament all get held?
Wisconsin Channel, Mississippi's. And then we go to the Bluffs for awards on the Wisconsin side of the river across from Red Wing.
Right on. There's a lot of boats in that though, right?
Oh yeah. I mean, within some years, within hours, it's got 100 boat filled. I think this year, I'm not for sure, but it was pretty quick. It was a couple days.
That's sick.
Yeah.
How long has that tournament been going on? Do you know?
Yeah.
Like, is this?
I've been fishing it since is either 2015 or 2016. And I know they've had it for quite a few years before that. So it's been going quite a while.
Yeah, it used to be like a 10 to 20 boat tournament just of like local buddies. And then all of a sudden it blew up and now we're getting 100 boat fields for it. So, I mean, it's been going on a long time.
That's badass.
That's
Well, I mean,
sweet.
yeah, if you guys been fishing it for 10 years, holy smokes.
But
Yeah.
is it pretty competitive? Like, is there a lot of good dudes?
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. There's plenty of good old river guys. I mean, there's plenty of guys like us that come down just to fish it. And there's plenty of guys that get stupid lucky.
Yeah.
There's a lot of
Yeah.
lucky that comes into it where it's just like, how did that even happen? I mean, you're waiting for when you're trying to get your big fish on, you're waiting for a school to start opening their mouths, and it's just like, who's there, when, and then.
I feel like I mean, I don't know anything about that tournament or how it totally lays out, other than I feel like it could get sporty like that on a river tournament where like different pods of fish could show up on different people and open their mouth, and people can get right in a hurry probably. Or you can maybe suck.
Yeah, true that.
Yeah.
So because we talk a lot about like bass tournaments and stuff, at least on this pod. But like for even like the NWT stuff, like just the way that the limits work is interesting because is this one where there's like you got to catch like smaller fish and bigger ones to like get your bag, or how does this one work?
Yeah, I believe it's 2 over 20 a day and then 3 unders for at
Okay.
least for the first one. They kind of switched everything back a little bit more for the rest of the year. I think we're allowed like 2 overs and 3 unders, or at least get to weigh 5
Yeah.
compared to last year. So I don't know how everything's gonna go. It's gonna be interesting to see what they have all to say at the rules meetings and stuff. But I guess
Yeah.
we'll get to that when we get there.
Well, they sometimes change the format of the tournament based on obviously like tournament waters, or do you guys have a set format that you normally do, whether it's NWT or just a high level walleye tournament?
Well, usually they go off the DNR stuff, or at
Yeah.
least regulations. But like Green Bay is only 3 fish per person. So last year they only had us bring in 3 fish. So this year for the championship, if you make it, they're doing 5 fish. But how are they gonna really enforce, who's catching what, or how they're gonna, have the rules laid out for us to do it? So it's gonna be interesting to see how everything works out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, is the championship on Green Bay again?
It's on Green Bay this year. Last year was on Lake Erie. So
Okay, that's right. Yeah, it was on here.
That's sick. So, okay, let's dive into this a little bit. I think this is going to go all over the place, but we can chat about
we have no
anything.
set agenda. So if you guys got different
Yeah,
stuff you wanna
brother.
share, dude, just
But,
go
like,
anywhere. Go
yeah,
anywhere. Because
there's
the
no
bad, the
rules.
ugly. We want travel stories. We want tournament stories. We
Oh,
want
man.
just crazy
Yeah.
shit that happens that you're like, this was stupid.
But okay, you guys are both coming off pretty like awesome years on NWT. So Hunter, obviously, like reigning AOI, badass.
Yeah.
Will,
That
I
was
think
sweet.
you were in 4th place in points. I
Mhm.
think. So, and I think a bunch of you guys' buddies are like right in the top 10, right? So you guys are kind of the like running the shit here.
Yeah, give us a
We got
rundown of the
dream
boys.
team.
Who are the boys on the dream team?
Yeah.
Who's your squad?
Well, last year we had a pretty big squad, and that was a crazy bunch of boys. I mean, it was me, Will, Max Wilson, Owen Wilcox. The Bennetts were with us, Jeremy, and I mean, all the boys were there. There were some times where you got to see JJ Debonardi, and then you got to see some of the other guys that come travel with us, or just hang out and fish with us. And we got co's that come around for other tournaments. Mike Christensen. We had a big group together last year. We kind of shortened our group up this year. We just got 3 guys, but last year, man, I mean, it was like, I don't know, it was like we were in high school again. We'd get an Airbnb and we'd show up to these. I mean, they're serious tournaments. We'd show up and we'd have family night once a week where we just kind of went out and partied. Just looked at the town and we partied and we hung out and we had fun. I mean, we had a lot of fun, and we'd wake up the next morning and I guess you could say everybody's head hurt, but we would always go whack them. I mean, everybody was just we couldn't figure out which launch we were going to. We couldn't figure out what was going on in the morning, but all of a sudden our Snapchat would be blowing up. We're all just whacking on them. I mean, we had a ball last year. We're gonna have a ball this year, even though we shortened our team up, but we're all still buddies, so I'm sure we'll be going out.
An amazing concept in especially walleye fishing or professional walleye fishing is the team aspect. And that aspect, I don't think a lot of people, if you don't fish tournaments or if you just fish bass tournaments or you just know that, you don't know that this happens in the walleye side. So talk to me, how long have the team deal been going on? Or has this been going on since your dads and grandpas were doing it?
Yeah, I think it's been going on since the 80s and 90s. Just guys traveling together, sharing expenses, sharing money and stuff like that. Just being able to cover giant bodies of water, wherever you're going. We don't get, some guys do, some guys don't get a lot of time to pre-fish. So it just kind of depends. Not everybody's doing this as a job full time, or mostly everybody has their own job. So, you might only get 3 to 4, maybe 5 days to pre-fish. So you show up and all these guys have been there for 10 days covering, the entire Great Lake Huron. You have to cover, you could run to Green Bay if you wanted to. They had everything open. You could run to Green Bay. You could run up to Lake Superior if you really wanted to. You wouldn't have time to actually do that, but it's just, there's so much water to cover, and it's just a lot easier to work in teams and just kind of break everything down. And I think it makes it a little bit more fun too, just because everybody fishes together, learns from each other, and just pitch ideas off each other back and forth, and it makes everybody a better angler at the end of the day too.
Yeah, and especially when you're truly sharing information and sharing money or sharing expenses, like that's where I feel like I can't believe that hasn't caught on the bass side more, of just like breaking down water, and then you truly trust your teammate or different people you're working with. It's like, dang, you're building off of everything everybody else is learning too. It's like, I don't know, for these big bodies of water, which they do it on the bass side too. Like, I just don't know why this is just a walleye thing and not a bass thing yet. I think it's way bigger than just walleye fishing, and it just hasn't caught on yet in other tournaments.
Yeah, I think there's some of them, there's like rules too. I thought some of the bass stuff was like that they even had rules against like splitting winnings and stuff like that.
No, I mean, like the Johnsons do it and stuff, like the Canadian Johnson boys.
Well, they're both in the tournament though.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's what I'm
but
talking
I don't know.
about.
Maybe it doesn't matter if, I don't know. But it's a cool concept, and it, like, if you have a good team, obviously you can kick ass and like you can really roll through some of these bodies of water. But are there, like, I guess everybody probably fishes a little bit different, but it's like, do you guys have some, at least on the schedule this year, that you're like, oh shit, like this is setting up good for us?
This year's interesting.
Yeah, this year's really interesting.
Like
run through the schedule really quick. Where do you guys start?
Lake Sharp, South Dakota. I can't remember if I've ever been alive when they had a tournament there.
That's cool.
I mean, it's like, I don't know. I wasn't too happy about it. It's not. I don't know anybody that's really even fished it, just because I haven't heard a whole lot of good things about it. It's kind of cool that if we were gonna do a river one, it's kind of a lake river type thing, but I think it's more of a river one to do it in the spring. So I'm happy about that. But I don't know. It's just weird. I don't like it. And then we're going to La Crosse, Wisconsin. And I've always fished the Mississippi River and 4, 2, 3, all those pools. I've never fished that pool, so that'll be interesting. It's not really setting up for us that well. But I mean, we're going back to Huron. Definitely learned a lot about that. Green Bay, we definitely learned a lot about that in one of the toughest bites. And then what am I missing?
Dunkirk, New York.
Yeah, Erie. That's setting up.
Erie.
That's sick. I love Erie. Let's go. How did I forget about that one?
The land of dry.
Dude, Erie?
We're just focusing on all the bad ones. Like, okay.
Dude, Erie's my jam.
All right, so that's the one to watch. All right.
Yeah, like, the thing is you get these suspended fish, and I don't even care if they're in 200 feet of water or 160 feet of water. I mean, I've caught walleyes that far down. And 40, 20, the thing is like, I'm really good at dialing in what size I'm looking for when I'm scoping. Like within a half inch. In 30 feet of water, I could call every
Sick.
fish on that screen within a half inch almost 90% of the time.
That's
And I will literally sit on Erie, start going down a stretch of waves of walleyes, and I don't waste any time. When I cast, it's going to be a big one, or I'm just trying to fill my box quick with like 26s or something. But my biggest key is I'm just going to roll till I see the big ones, waste no time, and when I cast, that jig's going to be in front of a giant, and that's what I think. That's why I love Erie so much. I mean, it's just crazy.
What's your favorite time of year to fish Erie? Like you can go there one 2 week span out of the year.
Oh man, like last week.
Last week.
When they're fat and happy and
Giant.
yeah, I mean giant. When we got there last year for the NWT, I mean they weren't. I had figured out a way to tell which ones were the size I needed and which ones were pre-spawn, which was crazy. Telling pre-spawning fish on scope, and we kind of got like day one of the tournament. I seen 11 pre-spawners, and I lost 7 of them. I caught one, and it was like I don't know. That fish was big, Will, like 11 and a half, maybe plus. And we had figured that out, but if we were there like a week earlier when they were all pre-spawn, oh my gosh, it would have been awesome.
Now, when you said you lost 7, like why are you losing 7? Are
It's because I threw a dumb bait that I shouldn't have thrown.
Okay.
I threw a bait that I shouldn't have thrown, and it was so windy that I had to throw it because it was a really heavy bait.
Yeah.
And I just was like, all right, I got to throw this heavy bait. And I kept throwing it. If I would have just put it down and picked up the bait that I wanted to throw, like I lost 7. The first 6 I threw at it with the really heavy bait. The 7th one I threw at it with the regular bait. And it just inhaled it. Gone in a second. And I'm like, oh my God, if this is a walleye, it's huge. Yeah, and it was. And then I didn't see another pre-spawner the rest of the day.
What was your Erie experience, Will?
It was fun. I had a lot of fun. I caught fish. I left work that Wednesday before the tournament, or was it either Tuesday night or Wednesday night? Because that next day it was gonna be flat calm, and it was gonna be like the only calm day for like a week.
Oh,
so I left work, drove through the night, got out there that morning, didn't sleep at all. Oh, I think I slept for like 45 minutes. My buddy Andrew Vaughn drove the last like hour when he woke up. We got there and never put a live scope down on Erie ever. It's always just trolling bandits, crank whatever other crankbaits and stuff. So I'm like, I'm gonna go figure this out. Dropped it down. First one that saw my bait was like a 27 incher. And Andrew comes up, quick nets it, throws in the boat. He runs up, throws his bait out, boom, another 27.
wow.
And we're like, why did we even bring the crankbaits with? Like, why did we even doubt ourselves, doubt these fish that it wasn't going to work? But
Dude made 2 casts and was like, remember when we thought we were going to troll?
it was just like a weight off your shoulders. Like, we don't have to troll. Sweet. We get to have fun.
Okay, I'm going to take a quick bathroom break, but then I want to get into kind of where you guys started, who got you guys into walleye fishing, and when you really caught the freaking bug. Like what made you go, I love walleye fishing so much I want to keep competing in tournaments and compete all the way up to this high level at the NWT. That's coming up really quick after a quick pee break. So just mull those ideas
All
over.
right, take your piss break.
Yeah, go. Let's go.
All right, so
Jeez.
Jesus, unreal.
That's Sam.
So when you guys are traveling, because you guys pretty much stay together, right? Or you, like usually get like lots of crash or whatever. So when you guys are doing that, like who's the straight up bartender at this place when it's going down?
At the Airbnb?
Yeah.
Me.
I guess I don't even know why I asked that question. I knew where this was going.
Usually before they even get there, I mean, we got stories that we probably shouldn't stay on here that I'm the first one at the Airbnb, and then Will shows up. He's like, "Oh my god,
Hey, you can
What
say
are we
whatever you
doing?
want, dude. I don't care.
what are we doing?" I mean, it's
Which one was the rowdiest of the ones you guys have stayed together at? What was the
Ooh.
number one? Like,
Ooh.
oh, what was it?
it's a 50-50.
Come on. You got to tell me. Tell me both.
Max and come on, Will.
Which event was the rowdiest?
Yeah. Sure.
No, who was the rowdiest?
Oh, both. Who,
Oh.
who and where it was.
Well, Sakakawea last year was pretty interesting.
What? Come on. You got to give me more than pretty interesting.
Well,
Give us the clip notes.
Yeah, give him the note.
You know how it is when one buddy messes with another buddy, and then that buddy messes with the next buddy back, and then someone takes
Oh,
it.
come on.
Oh
on.
man.
And someone gets to play dad in the middle of all of it. Well, it kind of all started out with like
A dead bird.
dead bird. So there's these sparrows that everybody kept smoking with their trucks on the way back from the launch.
Or bar.
Yeah. So I'm pretty sure you threw a dead bird in Max's truck, right?
Yeah.
Well, that's how it all started.
Just stuck it right on his dash.
What kind of bird was this?
I don't even know. I don't know my birds. I know a robin and a bunch of waterfowl. That's about it.
It was like a barn swallow, just annoying that always try to buzz your head in the summer and everything. So then after that, Max, can't remember what Max did after that before. And then Hunter
Dude, he
did.
took all my reel handles off.
Yeah, but there was something else before that.
And he hit them in my boat. I had no reel handles.
There was something else.
Couldn't fish.
That's pretty good retaliation.
That's
Though.
savage.
I got to nod the
No,
cap.
so then we come back. This awesome bar was like 25 yards from our Airbnb. It had the best food, and we ate there like every night.
Right in the backyard.
So we're going back, and then Max is like, "I'm gonna finish this once and for all." So he goes, and we unhook. He unhooks the boat from Hunter's truck.
Unreal.
Unhooks his boat, and then goes in his rod locker and switches all his reel handles over to the opposite side.
And some of them were gone.
Unreal.
So, Hunter the next morning, everybody is pretty hungover the next morning going pre-fishing.
Yeah.
All of a sudden the group chat is just lighting up, and I was like, what is going on? And I looked, and I am getting phone calls and text messages. I was like, what is going on here? And him and Max are going back and forth, and I'm just like, oh my God, guys. I was like, you realize we have a tournament in 2 days, and the way these fish are moving, we really don't have a whole lot to go off of. We're dealing with this crap when we have a job to do. I'm like,
And Hunter's like, damn it, Max, I'm not ambidextrous.
I love it. I love Will's like perspective of this, where he's like, guys, just like we got to figure this out. And Hunter's like, fuck no, we end this.
Max dives tonight.
oh God.
How long
Dude,
did you realize that they'd unhooked your trailer before you drove away?
I think I realized it right away, and that's all I thought that happened. And then I get out to the spot, and I pulled up and threw the deucer, and I just started scoping around. I didn't even grab a rod yet because I was like, whatever, I'm just going to find them first. And I found one, and I run into my rod locker, and I don't have any reels with handles on them. And I'm like, are you kidding me? And I just blew up. I mean, we were already having kind of a crappy pre-fish. Like, we were getting them. We actually had big bags every day of pre-fish, but it would take all day. We were all just crabby as heck because you would roll up on a spot. I'm telling you, you would roll up on a point and it would be chocked full. I mean, mega school. Everywhere. Giants. Everywhere. You're like, oh my God, I just found the bread and butter. Like, this is the win right here. And you'd take off to the next point down and there would be nothing. You go to the next point down, there'd be nothing. The next day, you would come back to the point that was loaded. There wouldn't be a single fish in a mile of it.
Wow.
Jeez.
I mean, it was crazy. You couldn't keep up with them. Me and Will followed a group of fish from one point, and I went to the next point. There was no fish on it. And while I was sitting on it, just like digging into it really hard because it looked really good, a freaking school of them rolled up on it.
Wow.
And Will's like, oh, my school just left, and I was the next point down. And that school had swam like a half mile already to the next point.
Wow.
It was crazy.
Crazy how much they moved, dude.
And we were just, I don't know, we were all crabby. And then, yeah, we all started arguing and we were hungover. And Will was the guy in the middle, and it was hilarious.
So, Will, how did this end? How did you bring them together? How did you get the chi together?
I grabbed one around this arm, and I grabbed
You
one
did.
around this arm. And I said, you guys are going to figure it the hell out right now. And we're going to get Dingleberry this AOI right here, and one of us is going to win this tournament, or at least try to. We're freaking, like, I was just over it. It was 95, calm, hot. It was hailing, raining. I was charging my boat with a freaking generator and having to fill gas every freaking so many hours.
Will's like, don't make me turn this boat around.
I was
Yeah.
over it. God.
Damn.
That was a wild week. That was one wild week.
Okay.
All right, what was the other one? You said there was two.
Yeah, there was two.
Green Bay, because the bite was terrible, so there was really nothing else to do.
So you just got
Besides go to the bar. We had a ball. Oh my gosh.
We had a ball.
Dude, it'd be noon and we'd be like, any of them biting? No. Any of them move their head? Like, these fish would sit in the water and they're walleyes. You throw a bait at them, you could hit them, land it on their head, and they just sit there with it like a hat on. I mean, they wouldn't even move.
You could literally bounce it off their dome and they wouldn't move.
Oh,
No,
my God.
No. And we were like, anybody get one to like look up at it? No. All right, what do you guys want to do? Let's go to the bar and then hit that gas station with the really good cookies. And that's what we would do. Remember them cookies?
Oh, God. Those I bought a sweatshirt that says Gone Squatching up north. That sweatshirt like every other day. Cause it's
He bought it.
You remember the gas station that had those cookies?
they were so good.
It was hilarious.
You gotta shout them out.
Send the pin, dude. Come on.
Send the pin to the cookies.
Oh, I'll look right
Dude,
now.
Will,
Yeah.
I met a chick.
Know exactly where it is.
Will,
Yeah.
I met this girl the other day. Remember where we were fueling up? She lives in that town. I'm like, what are you doing in Minnesota? And she had a friend over here or something. And I'm like, where are you from again? I was like, you know that gas station on the corner? They got some bomb cookies. And she's like, oh my God, I know. I'm like, what? It was, dude, this is like 5 days ago. I was
She
like,
knew.
this is crazy.
It was meant to
Yeah.
She's like,
Yeah.
that's my grandma Doris.
be. Yeah.
It was hilarious.
I'm pretty sure it's the Cedar River Plaza. if I
Yeah.
remember.
Yeah, Cedar River Plaza.
Shout
All
out. Shout
Shout
out.
Shout out.
It's on my list, dude. It's on my list.
And they had great ice cream too. Oh,
Oh,
my God.
hell. Ice cream and cookies? I can't even believe you even fished, dude.
They had diesel there too. It was like the best place ever. Like,
Diesel, cookies, and ice cream, dude. What more is there?
So Green
Yeah.
Bay got sporty because you boys you couldn't get a walleye to move on the bait. And then where did the stories develop?
Oh my
What was
gosh.
the house
so
morale? What was
so
happening?
I was on the way out there, and I've never fished Green Bay in my life. Driven
Yeah.
by it, everything. I'm like, I'm on the way out, calling like, boys, we're gonna have to make a run. No, we don't got it. I was like, boys, we're gonna have to run 100 miles one way.
One direction.
We're gonna have to do it. I was like, I never fished it. I just know that's what we're gonna have to do if the alewife and sheep head spawn is going on. Max was like, no, we'll get them to go. After about 2 days,
3
We're-
days.
we're gonna have to make a run, aren't we? I'm like, yeah. So we go up there and just
The far north end of Green Bay.
Wow.
And we're like way the heck down south. So we were exactly 96 miles from the spot we fished from takeoff one way.
Jeez.
So we figured out we're making this run. So the one day it was blowing like 25 or something. So we just, well, it's a blow day. Let's go figure out where we can get gas and everything like that on the way back. And we went and talked to the guys at Cedar River. We're like, how much gas do you guys have in your tank? Oh, we got plenty. I'm like, no, like how many gallons do you have in here? Because there's probably going to be like 40, 50 boats filling up here on the way up and on the way back. Yeah, we kind of figured that. So we got plenty. I'm like, so they had like, I don't know, 4,000 or 5,000 gallons or something.
Wow.
So they ended up having enough for us, but they had like 3 people down at the dock running. They had two pumps there that they were just running back and forth and taking cash and cards and running and taking carts and running cards, and they were phenomenal. They were just back and forth for everybody and got everybody in and out fast, and so that helped big time. But we only got like 2.5 hours to fish each day.
How long did it take you to go 97 miles one way?
Oh my God.
There to fill up after like 46 miles, and then ran the rest. I think it was like 2.5, 2:45, depending how long you had to wait for gas.
Yeah.
Holy smokes.
Yeah. Day one, we had like, I don't know, what would you say, Will? They were 4-footers?
Yeah.
They were 4-footers, and I knew if I could beat 20 guys to the gas dock, that it would save me a ton of time. And I knew it was going to be tough in 4-footers, but I had that 19-year-old dude with me. So I was like, oh, perfect. Like, you ready to rock? He's like, yeah. I go, this might be the craziest thing you've ever seen. I was doing like 55 on top of 4-footers. I stood the boat straight up like 3 times and just fell sideways with them. I beat 20 boats to the gas dock, though. It was huge. It was huge.
Real.
So
I
if
mean,
you
it was
would have had a
money.
different co, would you have laid off, or would you just said,
I would have had to.
yeah?
I mean, I was beating myself up. It was bad. I mean, if I had a different co, they probably would have been on the floor. It was crazy. But I knew, I mean, that those 20 boats was everything that I beat there.
Yeah.
I was boat like 55 or something, and when I rolled in, boat 13 was in front of me. I was like, "Oh yeah."
So
But
a lot of the field was running to the same stuff you guys were.
yeah, pretty much. I mean, it was the only area in the whole thing that you could actually make them eat.
Damn.
And they were still tough, but you could make them eat, and there was a lot of them. The crazy part is we didn't even get to like, if we had calm weather, we would have gotten to make that run during pre-fish and had it figured out exactly how much time we needed, this and that, like just figure everything out, how long we get to fish. We were making this run off of like, we just have to do this. Like we're not going to wave 3 big ones down south. It's just not going to happen. We got to make the run, and we made the run without even knowing. And day one, I was done. I had my limit in like 15-20 minutes, so I didn't have to stay there the whole 2.5 hours that we had to fish. So I got to make the run back, and I actually got to time it that day. But I can't imagine somebody like that had to like think about how long they had to
Grind to
make
the
it
bitter
back.
end.
Yeah.
So wait, you maybe mentioned this before, Will. So why didn't those other fish, you feel like they wouldn't bite? What was the deal with that?
There was an alewife spawn going on, and a sheephead spawn, and a mayfly hatch going on.
So they were just gorging.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
If you got one to go down south, it was big.
Huge.
But you might get 3 bites a day. You might get 0.
Wow.
Jeez.
Oh, it was like, well, we're here to risk it for the biscuit. We're freaking sending her all the way up. Hold on, here we go, and it was worth it. I caught 2 up there, missed one the first day, ran all the way back down, threw up right in front of the ramp. First cast, caught like a 21 incher, threw it in the box, and went and weighed my 3 in. Second day, ran up there, got a 30.5 right away. Next cast was like another 30 that spit it right at the net. Then had to leave, came all the way back down, fished in front of the ramp, caught like a 19 and a 21 and went in.
Damn.
Yeah, it was nuts.
And just to put some perspective on how far 100 miles is, because I don't want to breeze over that. From Minneapolis International Airport to Onamia, which is on the south side of Mille Lacs Lake, that's 100 miles, 99 miles. That's driving your boat from MSP Airport to frickin' Mille Lacs.
And back.
And back, yeah. Unbelievable.
And being able to fish when you get there.
Yeah.
Holy crap, dude. That's sick.
Wow.
The best part was pre-fish when we ran up there, Will.
Oh.
We got up there and we were up there for like 45 minutes and we left. We're like, all right.
You're like,
Because I had like 329.5 and a 30, and Will had like a 30 and 327.5 or something. And he's like, oh, wait, let me stick one more. And as I was taking off, I look back, he's just teed up. I'm like, dude, leave him alone. Let's go.
They were so
and it's like they would just eat up there. They were actually eating.
They were going pre-fish.
Chewing.
They were. It's like a whole different lake.
Now,
That's
what do you
crazy.
guys like? I guess give away what you want to give away, don't give away what you don't want to give away. But what are you throwing at these fish on Green Bay, or 90% of the time, or like what are the go-tos that happens in NWT these days?
I threw jig wraps at him.
Yeah.
On Green Bay, I threw jig wraps at him, but we're switching it up quite a bit.
Yeah, I mean, most of the time it ends up just being a jig and an earth noodle. A lot of times, but
Jig and a crawler.
Jig and a crawler.
Why is it so good in the walleye world?
I don't know.
Why is a jig and a crawler so good? All these awesome baits, all these awesome plastics out there. Why is a jig and a crawler still like the best?
walleyes love bugs. They sit up suspended and eat bugs all the time, and they see that crawler going across just like a bug would be kind of inching across the water, like when the mayflies and stuff hatch. They gorge on them.
All right, give us a little nugget. What's the best head weight for a jig and crawler setup? If you had to pick one.
Ooh. If you had to pick one, you could only use one for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, man. Will would throw an eighth. I would throw a quarter. Just because, dude, it takes so long for that eighth to get down there in 30 feet of water. It's mind-numbing. It messes with me. I'm like, come on. Get there. Get there. And then he swims like 3 inches, and I miss him by like 3 inches. And I'm like, I needed that 3 inches.
I would pick an eighth. I can swim an eighth in 50 feet of water. I can swim in 3 feet of water if I have to, so I don't have to change.
That makes sense. I like that.
How many worms do you think you guys go through in one season?
Oh, probably
Two flats with us usually, and that's at 1,000 crawler.
a season?
No,
Sure.
just a tournament.
Just a tournament.
Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe do one tournament. Yeah, how many do you go through in a tournament?
I'd say close to. Well, we had a big team last year, so we went through like 1,000 at least, probably a tournament, maybe close to it.
Wow. How are you guys getting there to the tournament, and how are you managing keeping them cold?
Do you have like a crawler farm? What?
We got crawler coolers, and we leave them in the flat, put them in the fridge.
Yeah.
As long as they don't get froze or too hot, they're usually pretty good. So
Okay.
Well, I mean, everywhere's got crawlers, so we could pretty much get crawlers anywhere.
Well, I know, but if you roll up to the normal bait shop and you're like, I need 1,000, they're like, nah.
Well, there's sometimes where you're like, well, I know you got a flat somewhere because you guys are reloading boxes, like they're picking 12 out and getting their dozen little boxes going. And I'm like, yeah, well, can I just buy the whole flat in the back?
Well, sometimes it'd be like, sure.
Okay,
Yeah, oh, yeah.
No, this is a great topic. So, Sobi, I know you asked some questions before. We'll get to that.
Yeah.
But like, dude, like, how meticulous are you guys with your bait? Like, I feel like you gotta, like, do you just get wherever you can get, or are you like, you got specific spots where you're like, oh, if I need them, I'm going here.
Oh yeah, for some places, like a lot of the stuff in Minnesota, like leeches.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, like I got a guy that's got leeches that look like snakes. They're crazy. I mean, they're the size of a gardener snake, and I've never found anywhere else that's got them. That's where I buy all my leeches. And then you got guys like Will, which is sweet. I love Will for this. He goes, and I mean, he works at a bait shop, so he gets leeches coming through all year round, right? And there's always these batches of leeches, and there's 20 jumbo leeches in the batch, like real jumbo leeches, and he just picks them out and saves them for himself and the side or all the boys. So we get to pick at them, and yeah, Will always comes through with that. Or like the perfect size minnows. Will's always got the perfect size minnows because he's picking them out like, oh,
He's
this is
the
my
plug.
tank.
Perks of the job, my friend. Perks of the trade.
Yeah.
Yeah, true.
It's good to,
And
good to have a bait guy on your team, you know? You got to have that.
Yeah.
And we can bring crawlers across state lines legally, so I can just pick one
That's
out
cool.
Oh,
of the
yeah, I guess so. That's like something else to consider. Damn.
Can you not bring leeches across state lines?
Mm-mm.
Like or minnows or anything.
No.
In water.
No,
Yeah.
the middles are the hardest part. I mean, we've had times where when we go across state lines, usually you got to have a receipt for them. I mean,
yeah.
and like where you got them, so they know that you didn't bring them across state lines. And there's been places that we've had to drive like an hour and a half just to go to the one bait shop that actually sells this kind of bait.
Yeah.
And somebody will like take a morning and just sleep in till like 9 and go do that and then come back, take care of them, and then go out fishing.
Yeah, that's sweet.
How often does it go down on minnows opposed to crawlers? Or how often has it gone down?
Never.
You're like, we got him.
But we gotta try.
Yeah, it depends. I'd say more springtime tournaments. Like if it's more like around here, North Dakota, South Dakota, Wisconsin, like early season, I would say minnows a little bit better. But once the water warms up and all the bugs and everything start hatching, then it kind of just switches over. But
in the fall, the minnows are great too. I mean, you can get something that's just, if they're really slow, you can just hang a minnow right in their face. I mean, you could just literally leave it 3 inches in front of their nose and leave it there till they eat it. Where a jig and a crawler, you're like throwing it past them and slowly jigging it away, and they kind of get interested, and then they kind of just back off it really slow. Where you could just kind of throw like a Lindy rig at them and leave that minnow right in front of their face for a while. And they're just like finally just tired of that dang thing sitting there, like a bait sitting on a bass bed or something. Like,
Yeah.
I gotta do something about this.
So what's your favorite way to catch them? Like if you just, you're like, I got one more day left to walleye fish and then I can never go again. Like what's the situation, what's the scenario, and how are you catching them? Like if you're like, this is
What's my favorite bite of the whole year?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, river fish thumping a swim bait.
Oh,
Yeah, or big stone. Big
Why?
stones and oh man, you throw swim baits, and damn, I'm unlocking a code right now. But throw really light swim baits like right underneath the surface and burn them back to the boat. And the minute that bait literally changes angle right at the boat, you can watch them come up and eat it.
That's so sweet.
So they're just crushing it.
Oh, they're swimming after it and they're waiting for it to like change or do something. And I don't let it do anything till I get that angle change at the boat. Like it's swimming up and away from that fish, and they just crush it. And you watch them do it with your own eyes. Like you watch a 29-incher just inhale your bait right at the boat, set the hook, and literally give them nothing. Just put them in the dang net.
That's badass.
Like your partner's waiting with the net, you're not hooked up, reeling that bait away, and all of a sudden that fish eats it. You set the hook and just bring them and put them in the net. That 29-incher didn't even have time to fight. You put them on the floor and they're just sitting there because they got all this energy just going nuts.
How about you, Will? You got one
I
more day
just-
of walleye fish.
I'd rig a giant creek chub till the day I die.
Really?
Yeah.
There's nothing better than just holding a big creek chub and feeling that thing freak out getting chased, and you're just sitting there waiting, like, come on, come on, and all of a sudden, poof, it just rips it out of your hands. It's like, oh, daddy's bit. Here we go. God, there's nothing better.
That's gangster. That's gangster.
I don't know how many times Pinkalla and I would sit in the boat and we'd see him on the screen. We're both looking at each other and you're just waiting. And all of a sudden, one of us, I'm bit. And you're just like, let's go. You just reel up and you're getting the net and everything ready, like counting down because you have like a minute, to wait till this thing eats it. And you're just like, let's go. Come on. Oh, there's nothing better.
Just feeding them the meat, dude. I love it.
It's so fun.
I like that. Okay, I want to run it back.
Right.
We'll start with Will. Who really got you into banging walleyes? And then when were you like, oh, shit, I need to do this. I need to take Punk's money doing this.
I would say my dad for sure got me into it. And after that, I started working at Spirit North Resort on Leech Lake right in high school in the summer. So I was just fishing and working pretty much all summer long at the resort on Leech all the time. And then, I fished a few like just random small tournaments, but nothing crazy. I fished my first walleye tournament with Nick actually on Pool 4, which was the Freeze Your Butt Off. That was the first walleye tournament I've ever fished.
That's sweet.
So I just kind of was like, I got to keep doing that every year just because it's, it's like the first one I ever did. And it's the first one of the year every year too. So it's just one of those deals where it's a fun one. And then after that, I was hooked. I think we got fourth in that first one. And it just was like, this is what I want to do. Like, got to do it for sure. And then I'm pretty sure it had to be 2015 then because the NWT came to Leech that summer and hung out with all those guys when they stayed at the resort. And it was just like, yep. And then since then, just kept working my way towards it. And the last couple of years, 2 years ago, this will be my third season doing it. So 2 years ago, jumped in and never looked back.
Damn, I love it. And then how about you, Hunter? Like when did you fish your first walleye tournament? And what was that like? And then when were you like, oh shit, I'm gonna do this forever?
Yeah, I mean, my dad definitely got me into it. My uncle, my grandpa, but just having the resort on Mille Lacs Lake, Nitti's Hunters Point. I mean, that was the bread and butter to get me into it. I mean, that's where we went every weekend. I sat on the dock. All I wanted to do was fish, and that's where my love came for it. And then I think I was like 12 or 13 years old, and there was a guy-gal tournament out of the resort, our resort, and you could actually fish with like your dad could fish with their son if he was under like 16 years old too.
That's sweet.
And so it's kind of like a family tournament, And I fished it with my mom because my dad was going to fish with my brother, and I had a little Lund Rebel, a little like 14-footer, and she's like, what do you want to do? I'm like, well, we're throwing bobbers because it's the only thing I know how to do. And I know how to read this little electronic that I had. And when I find fish, we're going to throw an anchor rope, and that's what we're going to do. We're going to fish them. And we did really well, actually. And it was a really tough bite. And ever since then, I've loved tournament fishing and started fishing the MTTs in Minnesota. Found a partner. My dad traveled to all of them. My uncle traveled to all of them. A lot of good buddies traveled to all of them. Buddies that were older, like my dad's age, that I call buddies now. And they're like, hey, I mean, you love fishing, so why don't you come fish these? And I fished with one of my buddies that's 10 years older than me, and we had a blast. And we actually started doing really good. And when we started to do really good, it got fun. Because you're sitting there learning and it's not that fun. You're not doing really good. And then all of a sudden, when you start doing really good, you're like, oh, I like this. I like this a lot.
Yeah.
And you start like wanting to figure out everything. When there's people talking in the room, you want to be there for the conversation. You want to just sit there and listen and just learn and learn and learn. And then like in 2020 or 2021, we wanted to like step up a little bit and fish another circuit. So me and my uncle went and fished the AIM circuit. And we had a phenomenal year. I think we won the team of the year, like AOY for the Ames that year.
Oh,
And
hell
I'm like, man, I'm good enough to fish against these guys. This is awesome. And then just started grinding away. And I never wanted to fish the NWT as a co-angler just because, I mean, there's a lot of great NWT anglers, and there's some that fish it as pros that aren't as good as we are, as good as we were. So I wasn't gonna like go fish it as a co and then get paired with somebody that I'm possibly better than, and I'm not gonna learn anything. But so I just kept grinding through the Ames and the MTTs and learned as much as I could. Started fishing lakes that I never fished before, just trying to learn them. Like learn new lakes, because that's what you do during the NWT. You go to these new lakes, you try to learn. And then when I thought I was good enough, me and Will jumped in it a couple of years ago, and it's been an incredible ride.
So you guys started both the same year.
Yeah,
That's
it was
sweet.
like one of those things. Like, are you going? Okay, if you're going, I'm going.
Yeah.
If you're not going, we'll wait a year and then we'll go. Like,
Yeah.
Like, we're gonna go though.
yeah,
We'd be
yeah.
like, "Are we
And then all
going?"
of a sudden
Yeah,
we're
we're
like, we're doing this, we're doing this, we're doing this. This is crazy. And we didn't even know what we were getting ourselves into.
And then what was your guys' first NWT like? Because I assume like you guys were a team working together that first tournament.
Oh,
Yeah.
God.
It was a ride, man. We were ready, we weren't ready.
Where
We
was
didn't
it
know
at?
Spring Valley. Oh, that's a story, man. That's the
Let's hear
worst tournament of my life.
Really?
Yeah, 100%.
What happened?
You want to hear this story?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh man, what happened? Everything happened. Here we go. All right, here we go. We drive down to Spring Valley. Will doesn't have a boat. I don't have a boat yet. Both our boats hadn't made it to the States yet, or we hadn't got them rigged, anything. And they're like a month out. So we're like, oh, we need boats. So, like, yeah, you need a
That
boat.
usually I mean,
Yeah.
I'm no NWT pro, but that helps
Yeah.
every time.
A slight inconvenience. Very
Yeah.
Yeah. So we practically had all of our gear ready for this, but we didn't have any boats ready for this. So I got my uncle's boat, and Will's got my dad's boat. And we like took them out of the garage and brought them to Spring Valley type of thing. Like they weren't ready. And we had
boats. We had boats though.
we had boats though, and we had all the rods and everything we needed. And it was rigged up, I think, perfect, but we get down there first day, Will's having issues, and I'm not having any issues, and we run way down south, and Will cracks them, and I'm like, all right, what did it set up like? And he's like, it sets up like this, so find something like this. So I find an area like that, and I had like 16 pounds of saugers, which is a huge bag of saugers
Yeah.
down on Spring Valley, and I had like 23 inches. It was just crazy. And I'm like, oh my God, we're getting them. This is good. And boom, all our boat problems just turned into an absolute nightmare.
Oh man.
I was running back to the launch, and my boat kept bogging down at like, I'd run to 55 and it would bog back down to like 35. And then I looked at my power gauge and I was getting no power. And I'm like, oh man. So we spent like 2 hours out there just trying to figure out what was wrong, like testing things, doing stuff. Something was seriously wrong. And Will had stuff that was seriously wrong.
What was wrong with your rig?
Well, so we get down there, realize that the gas line to the kicker motor, the connector was broken. Like just broke, gas dripping out the back of the boat as I was driving. So we called Hennepin Marine, and they had one left. So we ran up and got it. We're like, heck yeah. Get out in the water, no side imaging. It's like, okay.
Oh.
This is really good on a river, not having side imaging in the boat. And then I turned the live well on. No live well. Like, live well. And
He had a bucket though.
no power steering.
What?
Well, this is great. Ran the trolling motor during the day. too cold, batteries won't charge.
Oh my God.
Lithiums, the old lithiums that don't have heated cores.
Oh no.
I mean, it got even just Ultrex was just grinding and ready to blow up too. Like the seals were broken, like it was ready to just incinerate. I was just like, oh, what else? What else is there? And then all of a sudden, Hunter's boat.
Is the plug-in?
Cool.
All right.
We should have just opened her up and let her sink, I guess, because it was just like I don't even know what else to do on this thing. Like, and then Hunter's his like alternator was something we're calling places in
Isolator.
Iowa, Chicago, Indiana.
Like 6 guys calling places to find this part.
We're looking. He had to buy 2 new We bought batteries. We bought trolling motor parts. We bought. God, I don't even know what else. Space heaters just to try and get batteries to charge. I know we had boats ripped apart. Hunter had a flat tire on his truck and his boat.
My God.
Yeah.
He drove to like Iowa once, came back, drove back to Minnesota or Wisconsin to grab another boat and came back.
No, but I drove to Milwaukee 2 hours or Milwaukee or somewhere for 2 hours for a part that this guy promised me it was the part. It wasn't the part when I got there.
Oh.
God.
2 hours back, I drove to Iowa to go get a part that was promised was the part. To meet my dad that drove down from our house in Minnesota. Met him there, wasn't the part. Drove all the way back. Got another flat tire, so I'm on my 3rd flat tire. Then just gave up. Then a buddy calls, says, hey, you could use my boat. Drive all the way to Mille Lacs.
Holy shit.
From Spring Valley, Illinois. Drive all the way to Mille Lacs. Switch out my truck and my boat with my dad. Because I had spare tires, plugged flat tires, everything. Get my dad's truck, grab my buddy's boat, hook up to that, and then drive all the way back down. And I got 2 speeding tickets in the process from the cameras.
For God's sake.
Yeah, the cameras got
in
me.
Illinois, was it in Illinois?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they're both in Illinois.
God, I hate that state.
Yeah, it's the worst state ever. 100%. And then day 1 of the tournament, I had a Charova, I think, was on that boat. And so the batteries died, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when the batteries die, it kind of it goes up, but it doesn't collapse.
Oof.
So I'm like 25 miles south of launch, and I'm sitting there with my trolling motor up like this. And I had like 1 fish in the box. Day 1 of the Derby.
Oh my God, dude.
It was horrible.
The one good thing it had for me was it was like 52 degrees the day before the tournament. So me and my buddy Andrew hopped in with Isaac to pre-fish. I left the boat with the battery compartments open, laying in the sun, hoping that the sun would beat on it to charge them. And when we got back in, I looked over and I heard something. I looked and I saw the light blinking. I'm like, oh my God, I might have a trolling motor tomorrow. Like things could happen. I might have power steering.
Things are happening.
After work, I swapped out the Ultrex with Max's backup Ultrex, ripped it off, put the new one or his on. I told my co that night at the rules meeting, I'm like, it's like, well, I kind of got a frozen block of nothing that floats. I was like, we might not have a kicker or anything tomorrow, but it was charging when we left, so we might be all right. Next morning, dump in, I have power steering right away. I'm like, oh my God. I run up, I turn the graph on, side imaging's reading. I'm like, no way. Hit the live all, it starts filling, and I'm like, oh my God, go up, throw the trolling motor down, beeps, starts going, and I'm like running around the boat happier than
you're like, we're fishing. We're going fishing.
I pick up my call, I'm like, dude, everything we need to work is working right now. Like, we got a chance. I think we were in like 7th after the first day. We just cracked them.
Nice.
think we fished for like a total of 7 hours pre-fishing in 5 days.
5 days.
So
Just-
then going into the second tournament, were you just like,
We didn't want to do it anymore.
I love how they started this story out Hunter started the story out by being like, yo, we didn't do the co-angler thing because we were like scared we were going to get in somebody's boat that wasn't totally top notch.
yeah, they might not have been better than us.
Yeah, the
Who are those
folks that
guys?
got in your guys' boat that first tournament were probably like,
Yeah, no.
Will's got his live will turns on. And he's like, yeah, dude. Can you
We got a
imagine that
shot,
call?
dude. We got
Oh, my bro was super pumped this morning. Oh, is he a good guy? I don't know. His live will came on and he was just shitting brick. He seems dialed.
Oh god,
Oh,
my God, dude.
that's
it was
incredible.
wild.
Oh, but
Oh,
that,
I don't know
No.
how many times we looked at each other and we're like, dude, do we just go home? Like, maybe
Oh,
this
yeah.
is fine. This might
Well,
be a
Hunter
sign.
did. Twice.
maybe
Yeah.
Hunter went home.
Like, should we just go home and stay home, you know? Like, I don't know. I don't know about this man.
Oh
I-
my God.
I love hearing that, and I feel like stories like that only really come out on a podcast or in a bar or something. Because like when somebody just watches any big circuit from the outside looking in, or watches a weigh-in or whatever, they just see all these dialed boats and they see the pros and see all this, and it's almost like they think boat issues or stuff like that doesn't exist. And even probably today, you guys have 1,000,001 stories of your guys' camp or other people's camp where a part goes down or you rip and trolling motors off the night before a tournament. Like, those are good stories. I love to hear that shit because it's like, it's never a straight line. It's never sunshine and rainbows. And that's part of it all. Oh, you guys probably have
Yeah.
1,000,001 stories like that.
Tournament after tournament after tournament, we slowly caught on to what we needed to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, Green Bay had a cracked gas tank.
What?
I was running 100 miles on a cracked gas tank, leaking gas into the boat.
Oh yeah,
Oh, my
crazy.
How do you swap that out
you,
for the
You
tournament?
leave it.
You leave it.
you don't hit the bilge pump and you don't light a cigarette.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
But we
Yeah.
got her fixed. She's good now. But it was like we're sitting in the shop. Why does it smell like gas? I look at my boat and it's just dripping gas into the shop. And I was like, oh, great. So I went the last day of the tournament, went down to Max's dealer, fixed what I thought was wrong with it, drove back, had like, I would have had like maybe 2 hours to fish or something the last day. And I wasn't going to fish. But I was like, I should probably, at least find something by the launch just in case we need a fish or something.
Yeah.
Went out and saw like a 24, a 22, and a 19, like bang, bang, bang. And I'm like, well, glad I did that. Here's a spot if we need one on the way in. And then I got back and after the first day, there was gas leaking out of my boat again. I was so freaking mad. I was squeegeeing, cleaning the floor, screaming, throwing shit everywhere. I'm just like, can I just have one freaking tournament where something goes right and not everything just falls apart? Like, one time I'm going to have a boat that just, everything's just going to work perfect for the tournament. And it's not like it was the boat's problem. It was just my luck of something weird happening every time. It's just like, God, I was just frustrated.
Hunter, what is Will like when he's mad? I feel like he's such a calm, cool.
Oh my God.
I don't know.
Dude.
I think there's probably only a select handful of folks on the face of the earth that have seen Walleye Will upset. What's he like truly in rare form mad?
Will's weird, man. Dude, it's like, it's mind blowing. You don't understand it. You're like, dude, is something wrong with you? Are you okay? Like, he is just sitting there, no words, none, not a single word. He won't say anything, and he just sits there quiet. And I'm like, Will, what are you thinking? And he'll look at you, shrug his shoulders, just be like, I don't know, man. Even like when you're like when I fish with Will for tournaments, and I'm like, my brain is racing all the time, but it's controlled, it's good ideas, but it's racing. Like, dude, I'm thinking about time, I'm thinking about this, I'm thinking about that, and I'm telling Will all this, right?
Yeah.
Will don't tell me nothing. I look at Will, I go, what are you thinking? He's like, yeah, that sounds like a good idea. And I'm like, get excited, man. Come on. Like, does it sound like a really good idea or is it a good idea?
Is it a good idea or shit idea? I need to know now.
Yeah,
Be,
yeah.
I don't know. It could be shit, but it could be really good. And he's like,
But he say, nah, it's good. He'll say it like that, but like in a way that you're like, still don't know. And then I'll just look at Will and go, okay, we're going to do it. Okay. And he'll pull the trolling motor, walk to the back of the boat. And you're like, okay, it was a good idea.
Will's probably wicked with doc talk where like guys will be getting in there like, I caught him here doing this. And Will's like, and they'd be like, oh, Will, did you catch him like that too? Yeah. And they're like, are you with me right now?
Or he's like, this works too. And I'm like, yeah, it does.
That's kind of savage, actually.
Yeah, it does. That's when I just like, oh, okay, I think we're staying here for a little bit. But that's it. That's the only words. Like, I'm like, dude, all the time. How many times do I ask you at a tournament? What are you thinking?
Like every 10 minutes.
But when he's really fired up mad, is he just dead silent?
He's just like, this man is just hunting. We both sit on that trolling motor all day during these tournaments, and all we do is hunt. And he's so zoned in hunting that I don't really know if he's thinking anything. I think he's just waiting for a blimp to pop up on the screen and just how he's going to wiggle that crawler at that thing. I mean, that's pretty much it.
Locked in, dude. Locked in.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
I love it.
But that's what he's like when he's mad too. Just like, yeah. Like, are you mad? Yeah, maybe. Like, yeah, maybe could be insanely mad for Will. But for like guys like us, yeah, maybe's like we're a little bit mad, but we're not that mad. Like us mad screaming, like what happened on Sakakawea. But you don't see that with Will. He's like, oh, that was a really like, oh my god. Will's bachelorette party or bachelor party. Bachelorette party. Bachelor party. His bachelor party, I walked into his room with a fire extinguisher and blew it. And it was the worst idea I've ever had in my entire life. Dude, there was white stuff, whatever that stuff is, everywhere. You couldn't breathe.
Well, yeah, dude, it's a fire extinguisher.
Will looks at me and goes,
I've never ripped one.
there was two guys in the room, you and Wiley, right? And Wiley is mad, like a normal human. And Will's like, yeah, that was dumb. And then he's like, just laying under the covers, just hiding. But I knew he was pissed. I knew he was hot.
I was like, dude, what? You have no idea what you just did. What do you mean? You have no idea what you just did. He's like, what do you mean? Turn the light on. And it's just.
It was dark in there?
It was just white. The whole room. It was white. We spent like an hour and a half cleaning it on the floor, on our hands with towels.
I bet at the time though, when you ripped that pin and it is Will's his bachelorette party, and you rolled it and just went, you were like, yeah, Will.
He snuck away in bed on us. I'm like, we got to do something to him.
This is not happening.
Yeah. We got videos. It was awesome.
That's incredible. I do like how you say it was my worst idea ever.
It was. Cleaning that stuff up was horrible. I'll never do it again.
Oh, that's incredible.
Oh, shit.
But yeah, that's Will.
So he was quiet after that. Got it.
Yeah.
Oh, he's hot right now.
But that's the best part about Will. I mean, for sure. It really is. Like, he could be so mad at you, but he's your buddy in an hour.
Well, when were you the most mad in your entire life? In a fishing scenario.
In a fishing scenario. Probably would have been Minnetonka AIM National Championship.
Wow. What provoked that?
I lost a giant like weed patch that I tried. I got it stuck 3 times. Finally got it out. Saw it roll, and it threw the bobber right back at me. And we lost to win by 1.5 pounds.
Oh.
And he got a boat, and we got a power pole.
Oh.
Brutal.
And you saw it.
Oh
You
god.
saw the fish.
Yeah, that one still haunts me.
Damn.
How about you,
I
Hunter?
don't think Nick and I talked for about an hour.
Oh,
Brutal.
when were you the most mad in a fishing scenario?
Oh man.
Maybe a fish loss.
There's been a lot of times where I dumped one and just said to myself, like, you know what? There's probably 20 other guys that dumped a big one today. And if I keep hunting, I'm gonna find another one. So a lot of times I don't get that mad about dumping one fish. I mean, 2 fish, you start to get a little mad. 3, you're like, what's going on? And you just gotta adjust and figure something out, something different out. But I think pool 4, Mississippi River, NWT, I was pretty mad. I've never gotten into like a yelling match on any body of water during a tournament where I was yelling at somebody because they were too close or anything like that. I'm just like, whatever, screw it. I'll just catch them in front of them.
Yeah.
Like watch this. And pool 4 was something else. I mean, I ran down to a spot day 1, absolutely crushed them. Came in leading the NWT. There was me and 3 other really good guys that a couple of them are friends that were actually sitting on the same spot. And they had sat there for a while after I had left. I think I left at 11 because I had my bag and we couldn't call. So once you put your bag together, you were going in. And they had sat there most of the day and nobody came in on the spot, right? And then day 2, I rolled up. I think I was a little, or when we were in the locking through because we launched in 3. I had kind of like gotten up a little further and I was like one of the faster boats out of the lock. And I ran down there. Well, obviously everybody knows I'm leading the tournament, right? And I'm sitting on this little freaking rock spine and I'm watching boats look over at me as they're running around this point to go down to their spots and just dumping in on me. One after another. They're dumping in on me. And I'm like, are you kidding me right now? Like, I'm on a small spot and I don't need any more boats. The guys that were here yesterday, yeah, they have they can fish wherever they want right here. Like they were there.
Yeah.
But these guys were never there and they were dumping in on me. They have no idea what they're doing, how to fish this spot. They're pulling baits up and down it, just ruining it, just destroying this spot, pushing fish off of it, like getting into my path. And that was the first time I've ever was like about to blow up.
Yeah.
And I didn't, but other guys had. When we came into weigh in and stuff, there was other guys walking around just yelling at people like, you came in on him and I know it and blah blah blah, you weren't there yesterday. And I got up on top like halfway through the day and there was like 18 boats on my spot and
Wow.
I dumped a freaking mega. I mean, just an absolute mega. Had this guy coming right at me pulling 3-ways and I'm like, I'm not moving, right? This is my fish. Like, he's got no chance in the world. Threw at it, set the hook, and I dumped it. And he's like going through my freaking path. And that's when I was mad. I was really, really mad. And I actually had to leave that spot and go to a new spot. And I was out of it. I mean, I was pissed. And I kept a fish that I kept like a 4-pounder when I needed a 7-pounder to win it. And I was so mad.
Damn.
Yeah. I came in and like Hoyer walked up to me and he's like, dude, were any of those guys there yesterday? And I had told him like Courts and Chief or Deffenbaum were there and a few other guys were there. And he's like, none of those other guys were there though. I'm like, no, not a single one. He's like, that's just ridiculous.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's a big problem in the walleye world. A lot of guys are just all they do is hawk.
Yeah.
They just hawk. They just see, oh, look at that guy's doing that. Ooh, let's pull in there and do that. Like you couldn't figure that out on your own. If you can't figure that out on your own, you shouldn't be here.
Do you think a lot of the spot, like I guess the whole buzzards or the hawking and stuff, like is that bigger now, or do you think was it bigger back in the day before forward facing sonar? Because our
Way
guys
bigger.
now, it's bigger now, you think?
Yeah, because there's guys that are like destroying fields at certain lakes. And then guys just can't take it anymore and they just drive around until they find those guys and they're like, oh, that's what they're doing. Oh, that spot's holding those fish. That's why they're winning. And then all of a sudden there's a crowd there the next tournament.
Damn.
Yeah. And they're just picking your fish apart when they would have never found it unless they drove around. I mean, there's literally guys in NWT, and I'm not saying there very few guys that will pull up right behind you. Like follow your dang path. Will knows what I'm talking about. I mean, like he's like, dude, this guy's right behind me again, following my path. 2 hours later, I call Will. Guess who's right behind me, following my path? Just left, and now is on Dewey, following Dewey's path. It's crazy. Like, just go fish. Go find your fish.
Wow. Yeah, just
Like,
go fish.
there's been times like I've tied my line to a cleat in the back of the boat, spun my boat sideways so they couldn't see what was going on the other side when I'm on a spot that has 0 fish.
Oh, incredible. Incredible cliffhanger.
We just lost him.
Will, do you know the end of the story?
He's been cut off.
He's back.
He's back. He's back. He's back.
Whoa.
Dude, I got a phone call and it just buzzed me out.
So
That was the worst timing.
that was incredible. There's been times where
Someone just took him out.
you
Yeah.
tied line to a back cleat of your boat, and then
Set the hook on the back cleat of my boat, walk to the back and act like I'm messing with a fish, put it in, and then like go boom. And then like fake measure the thing and like fake hide it and slip it out the back, and it's not even a fish. Like I do it all the time. And then all of a sudden you see the guy behind you just going crazy. Like, what's going on? 10 minutes later, do it again. I've watched guys start tournaments on spots that I've done it.
And there was nothing there.
There was nothing there. Nothing. Like that, and I just giggle because I'm like, that is what you call hawking hard.
wow.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That's
Oh my
mind
god.
games.
I love
it.
that move though, dude. That's
Sweet move.
Yeah. So yeah, but now they know, but yeah, no. I've
Holy
carried a fake stuffed walleye before.
no way.
what?
Oh yeah. My dad came up with the idea.
What's the move with that?
That's such a good you get a quick picture almost like fake get a picture.
This was like years and years and years ago, but we had like a perfect 29-inch stuffed walleye. And when that thing got like wet and it was in the back of the boat coming across the water, it looked so real.
Oh, like you'd reel it in?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. And net it.
Oh, shut up.
Yeah.
No.
Oh yeah. Don't hate the player, hate the game.
Dude, I love that. I love that.
Oh yeah. Dude, when we knew guys were like, we wouldn't do it to somebody innocent ever. But when guys were hawking us, oh yeah, we had all kinds of tricks. I had 6 boats start on one spot one time. I had like 6 29-inch stuffed animals on. You just get mad to the point where you just don't use words. You can just do stuff like that.
Yeah, that's way cooler. That is way cooler. Like you're like, we can complain about this or totally mess with them. Like,
oh yeah.
like,
Yeah. And there was people that knew we were doing it and they were just laughing like, oh my gosh. They're like, if I see that guy on that spot tomorrow again, hawking somebody, this is going to be hilarious.
Oh,
And yep, they'd be sitting on it.
Unreal, dude.
so funny.
Oh, it was, yeah. Some people might get mad about that, but that's just don't hate the game.
Okay, I have a question for you now. Say every walleye in the upper Midwest was completely nuked. They got a disease and they died tomorrow. What do you start doing in the open water to ease the pain of getting bit?
I'm driving down south. I'm gonna learn how to bass fish.
Okay. Okay. How about you, walleye?
Probably go chuck at a couple muskies.
Oh, would you become a muskie guy?
I might go chuck at. I like to chuck at a muskie here and there.
Okay.
Oh,
What about? I know you do too, Nitti. Would you do that?
Oh, I don't know. I did the muskie guide thing, and it was a lot of fun, but I don't know. Muskies just don't do it for me. Like, I'd have to be fishing tournaments again.
Yeah. What about smallmouth? Would you guys just do freaking smallmouth derbs?
Yeah, I would do it all. Like, I would totally switch over to. I would try to be the next Fothergill. That's what I would go do. I'd be totally into the bass world if that happened.
Dang. What about you, walleye?
I don't know how I'd sell all my stuff because there's no walleyes left.
I'd chase the smallies around. Otherwise, I'd looks like the tarpon charters are getting kind of cleaned out.
Oh my God.
Go for another one.
I totally
Spinning the
wasn't even gonna
herd.
bring that up, but now that you did,
Now that you brought it up. Can you imagine if you stuffed a tarpon on that guy? Oh,
Oh man. I
man.
don't think they're hawking guys that bad tarpon fishing.
I don't know, man. Oh,
Definitely
that
could be.
There's
dude,
some
that
stuff.
was the most viral of any fishing thing I've seen in a long time.
yeah, that
Holy
went big
shit.
time.
Oh, I think Charlie McGivern sent me that video. It was one of like the first videos, and it had like 1.2K likes, and that was it. And I was
Yeah.
like, "All right, this is kind of crazy. This thing I've ever seen." And then that video got deleted, and then all of a sudden, like, boom, people started reposting it like crazy. And then I'm like, "Holy moly!" And then it just blew up.
Like that blew up. Like that's probably
Yeah.
the most viral thing to happen in fishing for
That dude got nuked, man. Like,
Yeah.
Oh,
can't
What do you
even
think
man.
he's doing? Does anybody have any report where he's
He
at?
got charged.
He got
He got
arrested.
arrested.
Oh, he
Yeah.
did?
Yeah. Yeah.
He
Really?
got arrested.
Like
He
probably
got
for
charged.
assault or for charge for
Burglary and assault or something.
Yeah, I think a couple of things. Yeah.
Battery, burglary, assault, yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. No, he's screwed.
Oh yeah. That
Yeah.
dude's burned.
Yeah. They're coming after his friends now. Did you see that?
The
Really?
guys that were just in the boat or what?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, man.
They started going after those guys a little bit now too.
Damn.
Which, I mean, we all got that one friend, so you can't blame it on those guys.
You got a fire extinguisher friend.
Will, don't go to bed.
Go to bed.
That's
This
what
is
happens.
really Will's fault.
Apologize. Apologize for going to bed.
Yeah.
Sorry.
It's 4 in the morning. I'm tired.
Well, it's like 4 a.m.
Oh,
Oh man.
that's so good. All right.
Yeah.
So what does the future of tournament walleye fishing look like in your guys' eyes? You guys are obviously extremely accomplished. And do you think there's going to be a bigger wave of young guns around your age range or even younger that are going to start flooding in and really start making a disturbance in the NWT? I know there's already quite a few young guys there, but there's still maybe young isn't the right word. Maybe young isn't the right
yeah,
word. New school
might be.
anglers.
Yeah, you'll see some young guys, I'm sure, but you'll see a lot of guys that have been thinking about it. I think that are gonna start jumping in here and there too. So
Okay.
I know
There's a lot of guys that are around our age that still got that walleye blood, grew up fishing walleyes. I mean, you're going to see a lot of that trickle in. Part that worries me is like what you said, so we like the young guys. with all like the high school bass stuff going on now,
Yeah.
like that young, I'm talking. I don't know. I don't know how many walleye guys do get up and coming in that age class, really, because they're like the fishing guys are on the high school fishing team. They fish bass, so they're probably going to take the bass route more.
Is
Sure.
there not? There's no high school walleye fishing tournaments at the
The high
moment?
school walleye, the high school fishing teams, let's say, not bass teams,
Yeah.
they can go fish walleye tournaments, but they don't really. I think there's been a few, but like 30 boats show up and then
Yeah,
they go fish
last
bass.
Dude, you guys are young and freaking cool, and you got big names in this industry. You guys should host it. Be like, we're hosting the freaking the high school state championship. We're hosting on Mille Lacs Lake out of Hunters Point. It's a high school state championship. Send someone from your school and bring like all gas, no brakes.
I don't know
Do
if one or even 10 tournaments would do it though. Because they fish so many bass tournaments, and I mean, the bass world's huge. Everybody loves bass fishing here and there, even the walleye guys. I think they're just going to go pick that, even if they fish 10 walleye tournaments a year. There's going to be some guys that show up that are probably pretty good at it too, but they'll go back to bass fishing how many derbies that they do a year. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I suppose. So other than you guys, is like how many younger? I mean, is like Owen the youngest guy in the NWT, or is there other guys too that are like?
Owen and McKeever, I think.
Oh, okay, yep.
Yeah, I think. Well, those are definitely the two younger guys. There was another young kid last year. Did pretty good at Green Bay, I think. It was his first year.
But what about not even just in the NWT space, but like even up north, Will, like in Bemidji, like do you know any young high school type guys that just like is there guys up there that just bleed walleyes that do local derbs? Like just do local derbs? Like maybe they
Like
do.
league
Yeah.
night type stuff.
Yeah.
there's a couple of younger guys that are straight up doing just walleyes. I wouldn't say a pile, but there's a couple that just fish like the tournaments around Bemidji and like Winnie and Leach and stuff. So it's slowly you're seeing a few more younger guys just straight up want to catch walleyes, which is cool. So I think it as the walleye world is growing more because of forward facing sonar. Now we're not just pulling planer boards or rigging and doing stuff that people think is boring. Now we're actually power fishing them. So I think with like tour level goals and stuff like that going on, getting more people drawn to the sport, that you're going to see a lot more younger kids starting to do it. Because I don't know how many people that come into the shop that say their kids, watch tour level gold or they watch the NWT recaps or listen to podcasts and stuff like that. Like it's gaining traction like fast the last 2 years. So I think you're going to start to see a little bit newer generation start jumping into some of these tournaments here in the next year or two.
Is there a lot of like fish donkey summertime tournaments for walleyes that happen? Like just catch, weigh, release? Is that happening quite a bit?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's quite a few around.
Because that'd be cool if the high school fishing even got more involved with stuff like that for the kids that wanted to do it. Say there's somebody from Rosemont who wants to fish it, and then there's somebody, whatever, just different online tournaments that go, this one's happening at the end of June. It's 2 weeks. Go out when you can go out or whatever. I don't know. I feel like that would get more young cats into like being like, yeah, I want to be a walleye tournament guy. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think Will's right about the live scoping thing, that you get to fish in the front of a boat, cast at them like a bass.
Yeah.
Power fish, that might suck a lot more guys into it. For
Yeah.
sure. Or
Be
grew up with their
interesting to watch.
grandpa.
Yeah.
Yeah, grew up with their grandpa doing it, and they just want to fish walleyes. But there's not like herds of. I guess there's not really like herds of young guys fishing the bass stuff in Minnesota either, really, that much.
I guess at the high school level, like all those high
Like
schools.
the classic bass and stuff like that, like
Yeah.
hopping into that,
Yeah.
or
But
the
they
MN
do
Bass
have
Trail.
like a platform though for high school bass, like
Yeah.
that they wouldn't have to fish like regional tournaments necessarily. They could just fish high school stuff. But Yeah, it's crazy to just kind of see everything transform. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know what will happen. You got a million ideas, but I don't know which way it's going to go.
Yeah.
I got no idea.
I think it'd be cool if some of you younger guys like did, I don't know, even if you did some sort of a clinic or different stuff where like you guys are all in one place at one time and not in a tournament setting where it's like open to the public, or maybe you like make it more open. Like we want to bring in folks who are, I guess you could bring in everybody, but we want to really talk to folks who are 25 years and younger. Just like if you want to get into this, or almost just like where you do high level seminars and stuff like that, almost like a clinic for younger kids. I think people would be more interested than you think, and I think it would just fire people up.
Yeah, the Future Anglers of Minnesota, I think they're doing a free kids seminar. I think like Hoyer's going there, Tom Wynn. There's a few other guys that are putting on free seminars for kids, I believe.
Okay.
I think that's like May 5th or 4th or something.
Interesting.
Something like that. Yeah, I saw it on Facebook.
Yeah, I saw that too. Yeah, that'll be a good thing too. And there's a lot of guys like running around and doing seminars at Shields and stuff. You know, there's a lot of kids showing up to that.
Yeah,
but there's just a lot more like attention being brought to like NWT and stuff now too. You know, like the video stuff and just like a little more hype around it. It seems like.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Tour level gold was a banger for sure. I mean, that brought a lot of hype to it, and I mean, it was cool even like walking around because tour level gold. We got a couple teammates that were on it and are still on it, and we're in the background, me and Will. But then we go out places and walk around. They're like, "Oh, you're the tour level gold guys," and we're like, "No, we're just the guys in the background." But you get noticed a ton from it.
Cool.
It's crazy. Like I was down on the river yesterday, and just pulling along a seam, and some dude yelled over, "Aren't you the dude that was on tour level gold?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I guess so." For like the one clip in the background.
Yeah.
But no, it's amazing how many people watch it and are watching the NWT stuff now.
That's so badass. What does it cost for a co-angler to become a co-angler? Because that's even like, dude, that would be an ultimate route for somebody who's maybe a high school kid that is like, I don't know, maybe I want to do this someday. Like that'd be a wicked route to go.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, to fish with like the guys that you watch on TV and the guys that you watch in all these videos, to have a chance to fish with them as a younger angler in like high school, that's you're not really crazy into the derbies yet and you really want to learn a lot, it's perfect for those guys.
Yeah, like what if someone was 16, dude, and they didn't know
a
ton, but they're like, I know this is so badass and I want to do it. Like that would be the way to go. What does it cost? What's a co-angler tournament entry cost?
I think it's $500.
I think it's $500. And then they're in their own bracket and they kind of get to fish against each other. And
yeah,
I mean, that part of it is there's a lot of luck on who you get drawn with. But honestly, most co's are there. They want to win, right? Everybody wants to win, but most of them are there just to learn. Like even if you took 50th, like or 100th, if you could pick up on every little thing, like just he rigged his line like this. Obviously, this worked at some point somewhere else, and it might not work today. But I can try this on one of my spots that I know back home, and see if it works there. Like even if they didn't catch them that day,
yeah,
or even if they did catch them that day, heck yeah, that's a good day. Like you learned a ton.
yeah.
Like you learned if we're like I'm in the front of the boat throwing a jig wrap, you learned how I throw a jig wrap.
100%.
Lots of times if they just want to come up and look, like watch over my shoulder what I'm doing, I'll let them do that. Like here, this is what I'm looking for, and I sit and talk, and like you learn a ton.
Will, do you sit and talk with them a lot? You have a lot of words with your coach?
It's really only sometimes. It's really only sometimes. The ones that are really intrigued.
Yeah, it's good. I haven't had any issues with really any of them. No, the next one's always different from the last one, and I don't know, just make it work and go from there. Most everybody's pretty cool, so never really had any issues. Seen some pretty crazy things happen, but other than that,
Yeah, give me one crazy co-angler story. Hold on, I have another bathroom break. I'm coming. You mull it over in your head.
You all right, little buddy?
Oh my god. No, he's not okay.
I always
He's
gotta
not
piss.
okay. This is the whole
Oh
thing.
man.
This is every time, dude.
I could
Every
see his
time.
teeth were floating.
He didn't even drink anything.
Yeah, he was drinking a Busch Light.
Oh, I
two
missed
bottles
it.
of
I
something.
missed it. I was locked in, dude. I didn't see it.
Yeah.
Dude, yeah, the co-angler thing is like a weird aspect, I think, in tournament fishing, but like, I don't know. Like you said, I think it's good for people to just learn. Like, I think it's hard to maybe be competitive on that side, but I like your point, though, that it's like, even if you're with a co and they have a bad day, you can still learn from it because it's like they're still doing things that they think is right.
Yeah.
You know what
Exactly.
I mean? Which I think that's a super great point. Or even if it's not a tournament, just like with other people that are just on the water a lot, you know?
Yeah.
They're just like, they're always doing something that worked at one time.
Yeah,
guess,
for sure.
you know?
At one time where in that scenario, maybe not on this lake, but for sure on another lake.
Right.
Like maybe
Yeah.
you're pulling spinners and this guy's the guy you're with is a really good at pulling spinners, but they don't want to eat spinners. But if you learn like everything that he did that day, and all of a sudden you heard there's a really good spinner bite on Mille Lacs, and you went to Mille Lacs and did everything that you learned that day, you might just crack them.
Right. Yeah.
You
And
know,
then you start putting the pieces together.
Yeah, especially in
Yeah.
like July.
I love
Like,
that.
yeah, I mean, you slowly start putting the pieces together. There's a lot of co-anglers that are just fishing it because, I mean, they absolutely just enjoy being out there.
Yeah. No, I get that. That's sweet.
You know, they like getting away and they like being out there, and some of them I think could care less. Just happy to be on the water.
What about good buddy Stearns or Charlie? Are they gonna fish as a co this year?
No, but they're getting into the walleye stuff. You
Yeah.
know, Stearns and Charlie are some of my best buddies, and they've always loved the bass stuff. They've rolled with you, and for how many years, right along with you at every tournament. They're at every tournament, you know. They're really getting into the walleye stuff. I'm like, hey, you got to sign up for tournaments. The biggest key is sign up for as many tournaments as you can.
Dude, they should. They should.
Yeah. And just learn, like, fish in a tournament scenario, because you got to have that weight on your back to learn how to fish in tournaments. That you're in a tournament, you need to dial in. Sometimes you need to stay at a spot a lot longer than you would just fun fishing, because you're fun fishing. You just go do whatever you want to do. But tournament fishing is way different, and those guys are really starting to dial it in, and we go fishing almost every day together. Honestly, me, Stearns, and Charlie have fished every day together for like 3 weeks.
That's awesome.
After work, we get done with work and we go fish together. And all we do is fish walleyes, and they're talking about, well, we're going to fish this tournament. We got a tournament coming up this weekend, walleye tournament down in Red Wing. And we've been running around dialing that thing in for just throughout the week for a couple hours of fishing. And they're having a ball with it. I don't think they would ever do the coal side of it, because I mean, they know how to pull spinners. They pulled spinners with me. They know how to rig. They know how to scope what we need to do. They just need to just fish more tournaments, get comfortable with it, and then maybe someday, like me and Charlie were talking, he hops on an NWT as a pro.
Dude, he should someday.
Yeah, I think he really wants to do that, and I really want him to do that too. And if I can give him everything I got, and we roll together, and he's going to come up with stuff too. He's a good enough fisherman that he's going to come up with stuff too that I didn't figure out.
What about you, Will? Do you got any crazy co-angler stories?
Just one time we were on Francis Cave, and we had our 2 overs. It was the second day of the tournament, and I was sitting there staring at this pot of unders, and I caught one. It was like,
This is Will mad too.
I shouldn't say I wasn't really mad. I was more impressed than mad about what happened. So I'm sitting there looking at this pot of fish, throwing, jig wrap, whatever else at him, throwing a jig and crawl at him, throwing a plastic at him, cannot get him to bite. So I look at my rod locker and I have a bobber tied up. And I'm like, heck yeah, I'm going to throw this at him. Hook a worm on the old plane hook. So I throw it straight out in front of my trolling motor. Throw my bobber out, let it hit. I go to pick up my jig rod. I look back, my bobber's buried. I'm like, no way. I go to pick it up, and then out of the corner of my eye, I see my co-cast. And I don't know if he hit his finger or it just was a bad cast, but I just watched this jig up come flying over my head, lands right on my bobber that's down. Before I could say, don't reel in, he's like, I'm sorry, and starts reeling and pulls the bobber and the hook out of the fish's mouth.
Wow.
You were definitely silent. You were like,
what just happened? that just happened. Like, I just looked back. I was like, you owe me a 19. 2 casts later, he catches a 19 and a half. I'm like, perfect.
Perfect.
The rest of the day, I'm just like, how the heck did you go casting straight out to the side to hooking something and it comes straight and lands right on my bobber that's down? Like, it was the craziest thing I've ever seen.
That's
Craziest
awesome.
thing I've ever seen.
Well, at least he came up and caught one, though.
Yeah, at least he
Yeah,
put the
true.
team
We
on
made
his
up
back.
for it.
But I was just like, how did that was crazy. I just couldn't believe it.
Oh shit! All right,
Yeah, that was a good one.
you guys got time for a little game, real quick?
Yeah.
All right, this is
Yeah,
quick.
just
This is quick.
It'll be
We're gonna
good.
do it. So we got a segment that we call the weigh-in. The way this works is basically all 4 of us will go around. We each get to select 4 things. So you basically are creating like your roster, right? So Sobi, how should we pick the order for this?
We'll go youngest to oldest.
All right, so we'll go by age. And the way it works is whoever goes first gets 1 pick, and it'll go second, third, and then the 4th person goes twice. So they go, and then it goes backwards the other way, back to number 1. So if you're on the end, you get like 2 picks, right?
It sounds confusing, but it's not. It's not.
It's very easy. It's very easy.
Snake draft.
Snake draft. So the topic, these are all just like totally random topics. And then we'll put it on social media and we'll have our fans vote on who wins. It's basically how this works. So the weigh-in tonight, you're picking the best taco toppings. Best taco toppings.
Oh my gosh.
All right. So we're going by age, you said? Whoever's
Yeah, and I think it
Oldest-
probably goes.
oldest to youngest or youngest to oldest?
We'll go youngest to oldest. I think I'm the oldest. You're second oldest, Ryan. Then it probably goes Walleye, Will, and then Nitti.
Yeah.
I don't think that's right, but okay.
I think it is.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think it is, Ryan?
I don't know.
I'm the little guy.
Yeah, that's how it goes, Ryan, for sure.
All right. I'll take your word.
There's like 19, I think.
Whoa, buddy. Like, wait, I'm 25. Yeah.
All right. So what's the order? I'm writing it down so we can go.
Yeah, wait, Ryan,
So,
who's older between us, me or you?
I think me.
How old are you?
31.
Oh, okay. Damn it, you got me then. Why did I think I was older than you?
I don't know. I'm trying.
All right, shit. You're last.
All right. So Hunter leads off. You get the 101. This is like great. You get like the best pick.
Whoa. Damn.
Wait, what kind of tacos are we talking about?
It could. That's general. I'm keeping that.
But
It's
the-
got to be toppings.
Taco
Best.
toppings.
Mhm.
Oh, sour cream, queso,
Whoa,
cheese.
Oh, no. You just pick
Pick
one. You just pick one. You just pick one for right now.
What?
You pick one, and then it goes around, and then you get to pick
And
another one. that
whoever's
goes
list
back
is
to you.
best.
Queso.
they vote.
All right,
Holy
queso.
shit,
Queso.
that's
Got it,
strong.
got it. All right, that's good.
That's strong.
All right.
I get it now.
Ooh.
All right, you got it. Yeah.
And you
Jesus.
can be specific with it too. Like if it's specific,
More specific, the better, honestly.
probably so you get votes.
Yeah. You're pandering to the fans here. Like, you know.
Mhm.
Queso cheese, man.
All right. I'll add that. Is Will's next, right?
Will's next. Yeah, I'm thinking of ideas.
Fresh cut jalapenos.
Ooh,
All right. Ooh, yeah. Nice.
nice.
Ooh.
All right. Sobi, what do you got?
I'm just gonna swoop up guac right
Ooh.
here, just so nobody takes some guac.
Yeah,
Damn.
that's okay. That's solid. I'm going. I feel like this could be a mistake, but I want to take it early. I'm taking fresh cilantro.
Ooh, okay.
Ooh.
All right, and then I got the wraparound too. So I'm gonna go. I'm gonna take sour cream because I know someone's gonna get it. Yeah,
Dick.
yeah.
What a dick.
Yeah, that's tough.
God,
All right, Sobi.
follow that.
I'm gonna go with Taco Bell mild sauce.
Ooh.
All right.
Okay. All right.
And favorite. It's a favorite of mine as well.
Mild specifically.
Mild, yeah.
All right. That's the orange one. Will.
Mm,
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go with honey chipotle.
Ooh.
Ooh, damn.
I just bought a bottle of that at the store the other day, and ooh, it's pretty good.
Is it hot? Is it real hot or is it?
No, it's just got like a sweet chipotle taste to it, almost like
Damn.
taco sauce and
Mm.
like sweet taco sauce almost. It's pretty good.
Damn, that sounds good.
Yeah, that's good.
All right, Nitti, you got the wraparound here. You get 2 back to back.
Oh man, Frank's Red Hot.
Yeah, Frank's Red Hot hit.
Oh,
It
money.
always hits.
Oh man, dude, cheese.
Jeez.
What kind, dude?
Kobe Jack.
All right. You said it with confidence, so you got it. All right, Will, back to you.
I like,
Right?
yeah, I like
Yeah.
Pico for sure.
Pico's good.
Pico de Gallo.
I can't believe that made it that long. Dang.
Yeah.
All right, Sobi.
Oh, I feel like I gotta go with something that'll stand me out here. Take this dub. More specifically for, I think, a fish taco, I'm gonna go with the taco gringo sauce.
Oh, there you go.
Oh,
Have you had it?
that's a wild card there. Ooh,
Yeah. Amazing on a fish taco. Amazing just with fish in general.
just
Mhm.
anything really.
Yeah.
Gosh.
Yeah. That is a solid one. All right. I like your fish taco thought process there.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm gonna go. I think I need to add a cheese to mine. I'm going queso fresco, dude. Crumbled queso fresco.
Ah, dang.
Yup. And then my last one on the wraparound here. Oh. I'm going pickled red onions.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I feel like that's right. All right, Sobi. This is your last one, dude.
I bet you guys have had it, but I don't know if you've had it on a taco. Cowboy caviar. Have you ever had that stuff? It's like the corn and bean dip with the onions, and it's almost like a salsa. It's like a cowboy caviar.
Yeah. It's like a thick ass salsa.
Yeah, it's pretty gas on tacos. Mama just made some, and we had it on some fish tacos, and it was good.
Dang.
Okay. I like that. All right, Will, what do you got? Last one.
Well, we don't have Chipotle way up here, but we do have Qdoba and spicy queso from Qdoba.
Okay. Spicy queso. Qdoba, spicy queso.
Yeah, I think it's Diablo. Can't remember.
All right, Hunter. Finish it out.
Yeah, just grab a bag of Doritos, pull some Doritos out, and crunch them on top.
Oh,
Bang!
that's actually, honestly, that's a swoosh. That's a
Yeah.
freaking swoosh, dude. Oh,
Damn, I
that's a
think this is gonna
swoosh.
be close. All right. I'll
That was
go
so
through and
smart.
I'll read
Gotta
everybody's.
add a little crunch.
That was
Yeah.
good. I'll read everybody's, but any honorable mentions?
In the fish taco realm, dude, we totally missed coleslaw. I feel like.
Coleslaw, yeah, or like any kind of shredded cabbage or
We all miss lettuce.
Yeah.
Boom sauce.
What
Yeah.
sauce?
Boom sauce.
Yeah.
Oh,
dude. I was gonna say fresh squeezed lime juice
Oh,
over
yeah.
a taco, dude. Come on.
Oh.
I'm
Honorable
regretting.
mentions, I feel like just what are some other chips or different stuff you guys have crunched up and put on tacos? When Hunter said it, I'm like, dude,
Sweet
everybody's
chili
done that.
Doritos.
Dude,
Fritos.
so like
Sweet
the
chili.
Fritos,
crispy
yeah.
fried onions,
Yeah.
like the French fried
Oh.
Flaming
onions.
hot
on the taco.
Cheetos.
Yeah,
Flaming hot Cheetos, heck yeah.
yeah.
Oh, I
I
feel
think
like
you
Dude, we're
guys
gonna-
made some fish like that one time.
yeah,
Dude, we're gonna get torched in the comments. I feel like
we are.
forgot
We're
some
missing
stuff.
stuff. What are we missing?
Oh God, I don't know.
Will, what are we missing?
Probably lettuce. Where we got to get throw some lettuce on.
But
there.
like, is that the best topping? I don't know.
no, it just makes me feel better when I put a little
Rice.
You're like at least like
Rice, dude,
oh
just like
God,
rice.
damn it.
Rice, Mexican rice.
I don't think of that as like a topping though, you know.
But
that
it is, though.
That's
It
an
is.
A1 pick.
Dude.
A1 pick. Damn.
Oh,
The
Man.
guac was a good pull though, dude.
yeah.
Oh. All right, let's burn. So okay, I got here's mine was fresh cilantro, sour cream, crumbled queso fresco, pickled red onions.
Strong.
Sobi with guac, T-Bell mild sauce, taco gringo sauce, and cowboy caviar.
Ooh.
Kind of interesting, kind of strong.
Yeah. Will with fresh sliced jalapenos, honey chipotle sauce, pico, and Qdoba spicy queso.
Oh,
That thing's wet.
That's heavy, dude.
that is heavy.
That's heavy.
Unique flavors there. Where if someone's
Yeah.
a flavor folk, they're like, yeah.
Yeah.
He
And
gets
then Hunter just with plain queso, Frank's Red Hot, Colby Jack, and crushed Doritos.
Shit, dude, that's a good list.
That's fire.
Freaking list, dude. Honestly, the crunch Doritos I have mad respect for, dude. Like,
Dude, it really is. It's like,
hard or
damn.
soft shell taco. Like everybody's been like,
But you want that crunch, dude.
Yeah.
Bring it. Oh,
This is gonna be a baller.
I
all
like
right,
it.
we'll put this out on our Instagram. And we'll see who's the grand champion of this thing. But damn, now I just want to eat tacos, dude.
Yeah, me too. I'm hungry.
I know. You're fired up for grease.
Oh my
Damn.
god. Oh shit. So, but you got anything else you want to get into here?
No, I just want to say thank you to these guys. Thank you to these guys for coming on the pod and giving a small insight on your world. And if any of you guys don't follow them or follow Tour Level Gold, we'll link all their socials down below. We'll link Tour Level Gold. They've done a lot for the sport, and these guys, even though they're kind of behind the scenes in that production, they're seeing a lot more than what they're giving themselves credit for. They're seeing a lot in that production, and they're just young faces in the sport, and they're doing big things. Obviously, they're crushing. They're taking people's money.
Hammers.
So thank you guys for coming on here, and I want you guys to follow along because it's a pretty intense schedule they have, and the tournaments are big time, and it's fun to watch and fun to follow. Thank you, and good luck to you guys.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Do you guys got anything you want to plug?
Yes, plug anything.
Northwoods Bait and Tackle.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes.
Rapala and the Fire New Crush City lineup for sure.
Absolutely.
Definitely gonna be a player this year.
I got to try the new Acme Show jig on the Rainy this last weekend, and it was like 3-1 on everything. That thing looked
Really?
so sweet in the water with those mirrors
Nasty.
on there. It was nasty.
Sick.
Yeah. Who are you guys kind of like? Who are you guys? Some of your bigger partners this year that you're really playing ball with? Because shout those folks out. I know you probably don't want to just shamelessly plug them, but I want you guys to. Who are some big people that you guys are working with that you're like fired up about?
Yeah, I went on full time with Hard Soft Fishing, which is Acme Kalins, Moonshine Lures, Ellie Rods, 2B Fishing, a bunch of other ones on there. But with them, I've been with Northland for close to 10 years, and Northland got bought out, Elliott got bought out, so it's kind of one of those things where it's like, well, kind of got to pick one or the other, and I just felt like this was the right move for me. So work with those guys this year for everything. So hopefully it's a good year.
Nice.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, for sure. No, Rapala and the Crush City lineup, they're all great guys. I can't wait to work with them this year. And then iMaster is a big one. It's iMaster in the summer and Ice Master in the winter, and they're making new graphs like MBTs, kind of replicating that. And I got a 24-inch screen in my boat this year, and we're gonna put that to the test.
Nasty. Oh, maybe nasty.
It is nasty. It's crazy. I still got my 16 in the boat, my Garmin, my regular one, but that 24 blows the picture up, and it's insane.
Damn. That
Yeah,
is
so
cool.
Hell yeah.
definitely pumped for those two for sure.
Sick.
Well,
All right.
thank
Well,
you.
I don't
guys.
have anything else, but yeah, thank you guys so much for coming on. This was a fun one, and can't wait to see what you guys do this season. We'll definitely be following along, and hopefully some of the PTB listeners will be doing the same thing. So appreciate you guys so much for coming on. We burned enough your night, but this was good time.
Heck yeah. Thanks, boys.
I don't know
Thank
what
you,
that
fellas.
was. All right. Thanks for listening to another episode of Pass the Barb, and we'll catch you on the next one.